everybody, and welcome to the House of Mario South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by a 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 277 are open. This week on the show, we got the June Direct, and we got some games to talk about. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to talk about the rest of Nintendo's 2024. And of course, to talk all about that is my good mate, Josh, or JT if you like. Josh, how you going, mate?
Oh, I'm doing super well, Drew. What a direct. I was not expecting anything of that caliber to actually happen. It happened. I could not sleep for nearly 2 hours after it last night. Still buzzing from it. It's been a really, really good 24 hours since the direct. So I'm really keen to sort of go over the announcements and talk about what we liked.
Yeah, no, it is sort of the downside of having a direct late at night. 11:30 for us, and it is good because we're not at work, we're not somewhere where we wouldn't be able to watch it, but
yes,
there is the downside of being like, all right, it's finished, let me just browse Twitter and see what everyone's talking about and see if there's any more information coming out over the next 2 hours. And I went to bed like 2 o'clock in the morning by the time I was I was done. I
wasn't too far earlier than you. Yep.
Especially like you're on Twitter and people are checking doing their post-analysis streams, and you tune in for a couple of them. And when we're finally doing it, almost 24 hours later, just how it is, mate. Us in Australia, we couldn't jump straight into it after. But I don't mind that. I like being able to think about it, a little marinade on it, stew on these thoughts for a little bit.
That's right. Yeah, it's double-edged sword, isn't it? Because usually, especially with June Directs, they're like, I find like 3-4 o'clock in the morning or something, or 2:30 in the morning, and they're like, I don't know, I don't watch them live. So this was 11:30, so it's like, I can watch this live, and I'm very glad I did. So very appreciative of the time this time around, I suppose. Drew, if we lived in Perth, they have the perfect time zone for this, because it would have been at like 10 o'clock. Would have been done at 10:40. Then you could do a recording after that, and you'd still be like buzzing. And I don't know. I'm just putting it out there. Maybe we need to move to Perth because they get really good direct times.
Western Australia, here we come, baby. Yeah, no, absolutely.
We really do.
It's funny how I'm going to word this, but I was trying to figure out how to not sound like an old man. Like back in the E3 days, Nintendo, they always used to be at 1:30 our time, 1:30.
Yeah.
And I stayed up for them. I stayed up when Nintendo was like, here's one more thing. We're like, oh my god, it's like 2 o'clock. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever the time was. Yes. And that's when they break out the fireworks. There's Nintendo Land. And like, oh, we're delirious. We're hunched over the laptop or whatever we're looking at. Yeah. I remember being on the bedroom floor on my laptop and they announced the name of the Wii U. I'm like, what?
What?
I remember staying up for that one.
Really?
Like, yeah. Nintendo, you cheeky dogs. You cheeky dogs. That's going to... it's going to sell. It's going to sell. But very excited. We got Nintendo Direct, which was a show. I want to jump into to our overall thoughts before we go through the games. And the idea for this show, we're going to go through the games in release order, because what I was most excited about with this Direct is just figure out what the rest of Nintendo's roadmap was for the rest of 2024. A lot of questions in the air when it comes to Nintendo. Are we going to get a new system? There's a bunch of games that will come with that, but a lot of questions what comes with the rest of 2024 and Nintendo Switch. And I think we got more than we bargained for in some ways, which was good. We got a bunch of ports at the start of the year, and we're sort of maybe expecting that when it came to other franchises such as Zelda and things, and turned out not to be the case. But Josh, what do you think of this Direct? And I don't know, put a number score or a letter grade on it. Sort of give us a roundabout sort of estimation of how you feel about the show.
Yeah. So I was kind of excited for this one, not knowing anything. And then this was one of the directs where we had no real leaks going into it. There's been a few where there's been leaks and things have been spoiled for people. And I see it on Twitter when I look and scroll. So it's just one of those things. When you have a podcast like this and you're trying to cover things, you're going to get spoilt, really. So we went into this not knowing anything. We knew nothing beyond World Championship next month. And so it was like, it could be anything. It could be really good. It could be really bad, because this might be, the end of the Switch's life. And if there's been a delay with the successor to the Switch, there might not be a lot coming out, but we've always seen Nintendo be able to sort of get these games out and hold on to them sometimes and release them when there's gaps in the calendar. So, I just didn't really know, but that kind of excited me a lot. So I think I kind of went into this with a lot of excitement, and I think part of that was I was thinking Metroid Prime 4 was going to be here, and I just had a good feeling it was going to happen this time. And so, obviously, getting that as part of the direct, a brand new 2D Zelda, absolutely amazing, and then the whole twist on that with a playable Zelda. To open with Mario and Luigi, a new game we haven't had in 9 years, a brand new one. And then to get some really cool content in between, a new Mario Party, Nintendo Switch Sports is still alive, and all the other third-party things. I thought this was great. It was one of the most enjoyable directs I've ever had, I reckon. And so I'm probably going to give it a 9, I reckon. Just because of the low expectations or the unknown, and then what it actually delivered. I think a really good 9. And I think I'm being a little harsh on it, if I'm being honest.
Oh, really? Okay.
More. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you're super high on it, and I got to admit, when the direct finished, we saw Metroid Prime 4. I'm like, oh, thank God, it looks great.
Yep.
And I finished the direct thinking to myself, that was a good direct, very good. Like, Mario and Luigi, it's great to see that franchise coming back. It looks interesting. Zelda was standout for me. Playable Zelda, top-down 2D Zelda as well. One of my favorite just genres. I love it when indie games have their take on it, let alone Nintendo with Zelda, and how it's focused on puzzles in the overworld as well with the echoes, which is really interesting. Of course, Metroid Prime 4, really exciting to see that. But yeah, when I finished up the show, I had feelings of just like, that was really good. I got those first-party Nintendo games. Not like the massive ones. We're sort of past that with Switch. We're waiting for the next system to sort of get the next cycle of big Nintendo games again.
Yeah.
So I was happy with that, but there was a lot of filler in this direct, and some of the filler was sort of I do not understand why it was there at all. Like a Game Mill Looney Tunes game. Why was that there? Like, I understand Looney Tunes is a big brand, but it looked. Don't know. It looked awful. And there was a few games there. I'm like, man, it kind of reminded me of like, man, I really sort of need new hardware when it comes to third-party games, especially like Nintendo can put out like Mario and Luigi and Zelda games and all this for the end of time on Switch. It doesn't really matter. It's about the gameplay, the story, the fun, the whimsical nature of it all. But when it comes to, I guess, like cross-console games and all of that, it's like, man, like none of this is coming. And when it does, like I do not want to touch it on Switch. And this is what this direct highlighted for me, as well as also like the good things, which we'll get into. But I think I'll give it like a 7.5.
Okay. Is that more so the third-party related reason, 7.5, or?
Yeah, like...
Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm not excited for like the games. I've got a lot of games that I got like probably 5 games. I think like, yes, I do definitely want to pick them up. So yeah, no, definitely. I'm not coming out of it being like, oh man, there's nothing I want to play. Like, come on, like, definitely not. But just overall, 40 minutes. The third party content in there, I'm like, oh man, like stuff like Funko Fusion. I hadn't heard about that game before, and like, man, that looks awful.
And it looked horrible.
It looked awful. I'm like, man,
it's like 5 years too late. Like are Funko's still a thing? Do people still buy Funkos? I really don't understand if that's a thing still.
I got no idea. I've never been into it, but I was listening to Donnie Reese on Nintendo Shack talk about it today, and he's like, "Oh, look, I'm going to get it." So it made me go and see what it looks like on other platforms. And it actually looks like a little bit of fun on other platforms. It's got nice shiny graphics, and it looks like just a third-person shooter in some ways. So I'm like, man, it's just the Switch that made it sort of look that bad. So, don't know. That was highlighted in this direct, as well as like a bunch of mobile ports from Apple Arcade and things like that. This is just sort of the dumping ground for mobile games. We're at that point of the Switch's life, so it is fair enough. And Nintendo is, is doing just fantastic work of supporting it with brand new content and exciting brand new content as well. So it's nothing against that. It's nothing to say like, oh, look, Zelda didn't look that good, or I wasn't excited for some of these new things. But yeah, I think just holistically, as far as looking at it all, it was a good direct. Because people were saying like it's one of the best directs of all time. I'm like, no way was it one of the best directs of all time. Like you're comparing it to like Smash Brothers reveals, Animal Crossing, Mario Wonder, like all of these like massive games we've had on Switch. Like the first time we saw them, I don't know if you can compare it to some of these games, apart from Metroid Prime 4, of course, which was like, that's 7 years in the making, literally. But it was like, it's a thing, but it's not a thing.
Build up. Yeah. I think that was a big thing for a lot of people, and then the fact that 2D Zelda new one as well. We heard rumors there's gonna be a 2D remake of a Zelda game, and so like that was completely wrong, and or half right anyway. And so I think just the fact that people weren't expecting anything really good, and there were some like there were new things. It wasn't just remakes or remasters. There was one, and that's for start of next year, for Donkey Kong, and so. Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, I like, and I think most people like this. They watch Nintendo Directs with the Nintendo announcements, and then when there's other stuff,
of course,
unless it's Square or one of the bigger ones, that's I don't know. Like, I don't know. A lot of the time, I'm not paying as much attention, or it's just like it might capture my attention, depending on how it looks, or something else, some other piece of criteria. But yeah, it's again, it's all subjective, isn't it? And some people are going to absolutely love this. I've seen a lot of people really love this, and then I think some people have been like mid about it, and not hating it, saying it's horrible, but yeah, it's still a bit of a range, isn't it, in terms of what people think or evaluate what they like deem was the score they give the direct.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like it depends on like the community you're a part of and all of that too. Like for example, Dolphin Pants in the chat over at YouTube said that the Marvel vs. Capcom announcement got him screaming, and that like that was a massive one, and that was a big one for me. That's one
actually.
That's one of the games I want to pick up because Josh, that I've gone on like this weird retro game hoarding sort of spree earlier this year, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was one of the games that I really wanted to play. But if you want a copy, you either were lucky and you bought a copy on Xbox Live Arcade. That game's been discontinued and, you can't download it anymore. Or you go and get an expensive copy on Dreamcast or PlayStation 2. That's how you play that game, apart from arcades and like expensive setups. So if you actually want it on a console, it's a massive thing that's going to be made available to the masses.
There you
go.
So
I'm really excited about that. So if you're in the fighting game community and like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and all of these other games are coming back from in that collection, that's one game of many games in that collection. That's a massive thing. That's huge. That's a 10 out of 10 direct right there, let alone all these other things. But I think that's just where I sit. It's just my honest thoughts when the direct ended. That's certainly, when I say 7.5, I don't mean. That means that's like just under great for me. So,
that's still,
I'm not saying that's bad at all. But yeah, I'm just not going to like say it's the best direct ever. We've had some just amazing directs. It's 2024. It's the 10th anniversary of one of the best directs of all time. 2014, with the Amiibo shown, Sakurai and Reggie having the fight, Yoshi's Woolly World, Splatoon, Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart 8. I mean, there was a lot at that direct. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
I would love to look at them all one day and sort of evaluate and rank them or something like that, because
that'd be fun.
Over time, I think that would change some of the announcements or your feelings, especially now. Yeah, like you said, because the older ones had a few more skits than what they do these days, and it's very different to what it used to be. So yeah, that'd be an interesting exercise to do.
I'm definitely a sucker for skits. No joke about it. But
No, one thing I do miss.
Who knows? Maybe I'll go and check out all the previous directs. I'm like, man, I was so wrong. That was a 10 out of 10 direct back in June 2024. Who knows?
Yep. Who knows?
I think also for me, maybe I think I was like, damn it, like frustrated by the lack of Metroid 2 and Metroid Prime 2 and 3. I'm like, damn it, I really like if I want to play any game for my Switch, it is them. Because yeah.
That was the one thing afterwards I felt a little bit like I wish they had at least two or something ready for us. And I know they tried to sort of accommodate to Metroid fans by giving us Zero Mission on the GBA NSO. So that's still very cool, and I'm very appreciative of that. But it just made me wonder, because I still think they're coming. It just made me wonder, maybe Nintendo's reasoning or thinking is, let's just give Metroid Prime 4 the spotlight now. Let people think about that and marinate in all those juicy juices of Metroid Prime 4, the deliciousness of Metroid Prime 4 and that gameplay footage. And then maybe later in a September Direct, or they do something later this year, maybe they might shadow drop it, or they do something similar. I don't know. That's maybe my thinking now. Because I still think that Nintendo know and want to re-release GameCube games as much as possible. They're doing a big, let's clear things out. Let's try and sell this stuff before it comes to an NSO platform one day. Let's remake it, remaster it. That's honestly what I feel they're doing, because they've done a lot of it recently. And Metroid Prime 2 Echoes obviously is a GameCube game. And then you got Corruption on the Wii. So I just it is sitting there for them to do. And so, we don't know. Metroid Prime 4 could be end of next year. I don't think it is. I think it's a launch title for the successor, and it's a cross-platform one. But it could be later, and so that might mean, if we get Prime 2 and 3, it might be early 25, or I don't know. But I was ready to play it right now. Prime 2 Echoes, and sadly, not quite there yet.
Yeah, because I really want to space it out, because I think, Metroid Prime Remastered, it was just an exceptional game, but it's certainly a taxing game. So playing through Echoes, then Corruption, then jumping into Beyond, it's like, man, that's a lot of Metroid. That's a lot of just looking around and thinking, where the fuck do I go?
A lot of scanning.
A lot of scanning. Not as much as Endless Ocean, but a fair bit of scanning.
That's very true, actually. Yeah, it makes Endless Ocean look horrible. And then Echoes is slightly a bit more taxing, I feel, because you got to go in the light and the dark areas as well. I think there's just that extra bit of, you got to be ready and focused, and know where your save stations are. I feel in that kind of game as the first Metroid. Yeah, so you're in for it slightly more in this next one.
Yeah, no, I'm dreading it a little bit, to be honest, but I will do it.
You're looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also dreading it. I want to play it just. No, it's an interesting thing, Metroid. We've talked about it when I first played it, but I'm like, I think that was a great game, but I don't know how much I had fun. Let's just put it that way.
And that was me when I very first played Metroid back in the day, 15 plus years ago, longer now. 20 plus years ago. It just wasn't my thing. And then later on, over time, the more I played it, I get it now. It kind of clicked a bit more, and you just go from there.
You got some taste. Yes, you started drinking the finer whiskey and seeing the finer things in life. Yes, this Metroid Prime was actually quite juicy.
It's a great drop, Correct. Yeah.
Great job. Job. Anyway, let's. I'm going to start off with just the games that are weeded out that we don't have too much to talk about, and quite frankly, some of them looked a bit iffy. We got Tales of the Shire, a Lord of the Rings game. I'm quite happy for the cozy community. I'm sure that especially Lord of the Rings fans would get a kick out of this. See a lot of people say that it didn't look that good, but I don't know. Maybe got nothing really to say on it. Funko Fusion, it looked okay on PlayStation and PC and Xbox. Looked like crap on Switch. That was not a good first impression seeing it at this Direct. But if you're into all of those franchises, it's kind of like a cool little thrown together, just random franchises like Jurassic World, Back to the Future, Shaun of the Dead, Chucky's, Battlestar Galactica, just like random stuff. Whatever they can get, they put into this game. But nothing that speaks to me, fortunately. If they got The Simpsons or something, I don't know. I'm kind of hungry for a modern Simpsons game. But
I think Doctor Who, I'd be more interested, but no.
Yeah, they'll get you there. Do you have any Doctor Who Funko Pops?
I have two. at the top there. Yeah, Peter Capaldi, the 12th Doctor. I've got 2 of those, and that is it. That's more so out of the love of that Doctor than love of Funko Pops, to be honest. So
yeah. You just get it because the franchise you love. That's how they get you.
Yeah. Dolphin Pants in the chat said it best when Funkos are just landfill now. So there'll be a lot. There'll be a hell of a lot in landfill right now.
Just before we go on to Dolphin Pants, what a username. I want to know the backstory to the username Dolphin Pants. Is it dolphin wearing pants, or is it pants made out of a dolphin? You tell us in the comments.
It's like the whole dog wearing pants. Like, tell us which way a dolphin would get pants as well. I would like to know if that, just out of interest.
Yeah, like surely the dog would have to have just like all 4 legs in the pants.
No, it's a back 2. It's the back 2 legs.
It is the back 2. I don't know. Yeah, a pants meant. Yeah, probably because then it covers. It's probably just pants made to cover up the genitals in your butthole. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I don't know.
They got my wife looking at me when I said that. Sorry, what are you talking about? All right, moving on. Among Us, a free update. So there's some new roles and stuff to play. Haven't played much Among Us, but cool. The Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports. I don't know. Why'd they show this? I understand Looney Tunes big IP, but it's a bit embarrassing. Don't show this at a premiere showcase for your platform. Love of Christ. Phantom Brave, The Lost Hero, and Fairy Tale 2, which is JRPG based on the winning anime Fairy Tale. Look at that. Who would have thought?
I learned something. I learned that yesterday. Michaela told me that. That was good. I'm not a big anime guy.
Yeah, I never got into Fairy Tale. I had a friend who liked it. I'm like, cool.
Okay.
That's cool. So, the stuff we don't care about, nothing to say on that whatsoever. But Dolphin Pants in the chat, he did get back to us. I was told the best usernames had 2 unrelated words. On my wall was a photo of me at SeaWorld with a dolphin. Then I looked down, and that's how the legends are born. There you go.
That's so good. That's great.
Oh, look. I didn't see it was blown up on this video, too. You can see that there's an armchair with a dolphin wearing pants, and he's tails through the one leg on the pants.
Oh, there it is.
It's crazy. He's gone and done like a little Photoshop too. He hasn't just like.
That's so good.
That's crazy, man. Good on you.
All right, so he's answered it. Yeah, just through one leg hole. Nice. Well, there you go.
Nice stuff.
That's so good.
Just fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the release roadmap for Nintendo Switch. Well, the games that were shown at this Direct. There's a lot more, including Pokemon Legends Z to A, which we won't talk about here because we don't know anything about it, but that is on the roadmap. But starting off, we got some releases as of today, which have already, I guess, happened. So we got an update to Disney Illusion Island, the Mystery Monoth free update, which is I still got to get to Disney Illusion Island. That game looks pretty cool. Pretty keen to get to that. So got some more DLC to jump into. Got Metal Slug Attack Reloaded, which is sort of a strategy Metal Slug game. Looks pretty cool. Sort of auto 2D sort of stuff going on. Don't have too much to say about that one. Josh, do you have anything you'd like to put in? Yep.
Not really.
And we also got some Nintendo Switch Online drops as well, which was actually one of the, I guess, things that made me go, ooh, finally. So we got Metroid Zero Mission. I've been wanting to play this for ages, but I want it on Switch Online. So I got that sweet rewind and save state feature. So I'll be jumping into that this week.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully I'll have something to say about it next time Josh and I catch up. So keen to jump into that one. And we also got The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and the Four Swords sort of combination Game Boy Advance game. And this is how, like, I think this was how I first played A Link to the Past, which was a little bit nostalgic in some ways. But yeah, I never played the Four Swords. Maybe I did because they re-released it on DSi, where you could play just single player, and you could control all 4 links. I think I dabbled with that, but the idea of back in the day having 4 people with multiple link cables, because link cables were like a rare commodity back then. Like nobody was.
They were.
Yeah, Nobody said, "Look, I'll spend $30 on this cable instead of a game." It was all like, "Look, I gotta, I gotta make this money work. I'm gonna get a game, not a cable. Somebody else can be the sucker that pays for the link cable and
Yeah,
can trade
I'd
them
like
their
to know
Pokemon."
if anyone listening ever experienced the cable multiplayer experience that Nintendo ever wanted for this. Because yeah, I'm with you, Drew. Like, if someone had a cable, it was like very like not for this specific game, might be for a bit of Pokemon trading, and that was the extent. It was never for like a GBA playing Four Swords
No,
Adventure all at the same time. I never saw that in my life, but there might be some people out there, but it must be the minority because no, that was not happening in our schoolyard. That's for sure.
my friend Adam, he was the one with the Game Boy Advance link cable because him and his
Okay.
brother both had Game Boys and played Pokemon.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that made sense for them. But when it came to like myself, my friend Jordan, Bryce, none of us had a link cable. So if we were like we were organizing a trade or something, we had to like revolve it around Adam. He was the possessor of that link cable.
The facilitator. Yeah, that's awkward.
He was the
and
man.
annoying.
It's like, "Hey Adam, can I borrow that link cable? I really want to trade my Mudkip to Bryce."
There's a lot of power.
There's a lot of power to wield as a 9-year-old.
Chubba Chubs or chocolate or pocket change, I'm sure, if he was smart about it.
Yeah. No, he was a nice man.
Okay.
He let us use that link cable.
Yeah, there you go.
He was a good boy.
Must have liked you.
He was a good boy.
That's good.
I hope he liked me. I liked him. He was a nice man. Nice boy.
Probably hates you now, though.
Yeah, probably. And we also got some Nintendo 64 games, which got a brand new, mature.
You weren't expecting that, were you? That was just...
It's giving me the freaking giggles.
You're going as red as a tomato right now.
I have to. I just looked at myself in the camera. Yeah, it's got a new 17 plus mature app that contain a Perfect Dark and Turok Dinosaur Hunter. So, man, I remember it was a few months ago, like a mature app came out in Japan, and it was like, oh, that's a weird thing. But now we've got it over here, and it makes sense. It makes sense because for those that don't know, the app has its own rating. So the highest, I guess, most mature rated game in that whole app, in each app, that is going to be the rating of that specific app, if you know what I mean. So they don't want, say, Kirby, Mario 64, Mario Kart 64 to be rated mature, like on the box, because they want So and there's no way to really separate them the way they've done it, and it is convenient having them all in one app. Yeah, it's just how it works. So if you want to see some Perfect Dark nipples or whatever's in that game, you're gonna have to.
What makes it so mature? Is it just the
it's just violent
gun violence? Yeah. Because why is GoldenEye on the NSO app then? What's GoldenEye rated? It mustn't be that.
Yeah, it mustn't be.
Because it's interesting. And then when I first saw this in the direct, I was thinking, here we go, here's Conker's Bad Fur Day. And then we saw Turok and Perfect Dark. And then like, oh, are they mature games, are they? And like, the only one I really remember being grotesque and R-rated was Conker's Bad Fur Day. So, I mean, that is grotesque compared to those other two games, surely. PG, GoldenEye 007. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the... Oh, that's the Wii one. But it's the same game, isn't it? So... oh well, there you go.
I was expecting Perfect Dark. I was expecting Conker and Perfect Dark when they said about the mature app. Perfect Dark, because if I was Microsoft, I would be getting that synergy working well. Like, finally show off gameplay for Perfect Dark, the reboot on Xbox, and then like for Nintendo. Here's the original. Sort of get that sort of conversation moving, even though. Perfect Dark
they want people playing it right
at
now,
least
and build up.
Build
up hype for the actual remake or the actual new game.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Cool stuff. Like I said, very excited about Zero Mission. Been wanting to play that for a while, and finally can.
So good.
Are you going to go and replay it on Switch, or you've had your fill?
I will replay it. I've been waiting to play it again, and knowing that it would come to the service, I've just waited, and so I played about an hour earlier today. So it's so good. It's my comfort game. It's really enjoying just playing through it again. I've played it a few times through now, and it's just yeah. I think we talked about it before. It's just one of those cozy comfort games for me that you don't have to worry about anything else going on in your life right now, and just sort of play through Zero Mission, and you know you're in for a good time. So very keen to hear your thoughts and whether you like it, because I think compared to Fusion, it's less. It's still handholdy in a way, but not as directly handholdy as Fusion was.
Don't worry, mate. I'll have a guide next to me.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about that, mate. I won't be like, oh, what fucking bit of tile do I need to shoot to progress? Like, fuck that shit. No, I won't be doing that.
The whole purpose of Metroid, Drew. Come on.
You know.
Try a little bit without the guide. Just start the first bit without it.
Just for you.
And then do it once you get stuck.
Yep. 2 minutes in, where's that fucking guide?
Yeah.
Just reaching.
Remember,
reaching
go
for
left. Go left at the start. Don't go right. Okay.
Yeah, I know that.
You know that? Okay.
I do know that.
Good.
I won't get stuck that early. I'm like, oh god, how do you?
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad.
What are the controls?
Fucking playing the original NES one. It's like that. Like, holy shit! Like, yeah. How do people know? It's like, well, they read the manual. I had to read the manual.
Yeah, that's right. We're missing the manual. That's like half the game these days. It's like, man, these games were so hard. Like, not really. It gave you like a whole sort of book to read before you played it.
Yeah, they really need to add those to NSO. That would be the next big upgrade, I feel, for that service.
Yeah. Next up, we got Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, something we've known about for a while, coming on the 27th of June. Just reminded us that it's still coming. They haven't changed their mind. It's like, actually, no, we're actually going to bring it back. Don't worry about that.
A bit late now if they had, but that's good.
Yeah, so I mean, cool. I'll be interested to see how this does. Like, how do these 3DS games go once they've been brought out on Switch and HD with not much done to them? I'm kind of curious because the first game, this game on 3DS sold about 6 million. Pretty good. And Luigi's Mansion 3 more than doubled that on Switch. So it'd be interesting to see whether people are like hungry for Luigi's Mansion or whether it was just like 3 with like, it looks nice, the marketing behind it. See what it can do without the marketing and without the nicer graphics and something that a lot of people have already played.
Yeah. I'm kind of low-key disappointed it's just an HD remaster of this game. I was really hoping they could add some quality of life things to it. I haven't seen anything in the marketing, the promo for it in the lead up. So slightly disappointed by it. I'm not as buzzed about it as I was for Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, but that's all right. It's it's still a great, cool time, and I haven't played a Luigi's Mansion game since 3, so it's been a few years now, and definitely ready to give it a go again.
Let's go. I'm like, do I play it on Switch or do I bust out the 3DS? Time will tell. The day this comes out, I will be a busy boy. I can tell you that. So I won't be getting to this straight away.
Yes, likely. You will be. Correct.
I will. Next up, we got Darkest Dungeon 2, sequel to the big indie game Darkest Dungeon on Switch, comes out on the 16th of July. So Darkest Dungeon was always a game that I looked at and went, looks interesting. I wouldn't mind giving that a go, but never got around to it. But I know a lot of people quite enjoy Darkest Dungeon, so here's the sequel coming out soon. Pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Then we got Nintendo World Championships NES edition. This is coming out on the 18th of July, something we knew about previously. Comes with that nice gold cartridge and all that if you get the special edition, which Josh has on pre-order. I decided not to. I looked at my wallet and said, save some funds for some other stuff. But yeah, did anything shown here sort of pique your interest at all? Like the survival mode or any of the new challenges that they've shown? I really like the idea of the leaderboards. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Just if you've got like a competitive group of friends on your Nintendo Switch that you've added, I think it would be a lot of fun sort of trying to beat up each other's scores and that sort of gameplay where you're not like directly competing, but you're always sort of like checking back in like, all right, let's see if I can beat Josh or, beat Zach or whoever like in your community or whatever. It's could be a lot of fun. So how do you feel about what they're showing here?
Yeah, I think the big thing for me was the legend challenges that they introduced, and that was like the one where you had to complete Super Mario Bros. And go from World 1-1 to 8-4, using the warp zones, but as fast as possible. And that's like they showed it in 8 minute kind of time, and so that was kind of reassuring to me, knowing that it's not just going to be 20-second efforts from a clip or a portion of a game, and that's it. There's going to be some longer things to challenge you and really sink your teeth into. So that's cool. I'm like that's a fun thing to do. Finish Super Mario Bros as fast as possible, and you compare it with times of your friends and like you said, in like your Discord communities, whatever you're in. That's really cool. So yeah, I'm getting keen for this. I'm getting low key keen for this. I know what this game is. It's going to be a fun time for a few hours, and then you probably you've had your fix, and then you move on from there. But yeah, I'm still pretty keen for it. I'm keen for my special edition because that looks beautiful, like you said, with the gold cartridge, then the enamel pins as well.
Hope you don't make me
this
too
is
jealous.
not far away. I'm going to try to, Drew.
Don't
worry. I'm going to make sure you regret your decisions, mate. I think you can still pre-order it, can't you? I don't think it's sold out.
Probably. Yeah, I haven't really looked, but I hope you can't, because then it makes a decision for me.
Well, I'm going to check right now. Yeah, you can still do
check
it.
You can check the old
Yep.
eBay.
The eBay. Yeah, enamel pins, a gold cartridge, Drew. It looks so good. Are you a real fan?
Cartridge. I think I am. I think I'm a fake one.
All right.
Just one of those.
You admitted
those
it then.
Phonies, real phony. I don't like anything, actually. I'm not a fan of anything.
Well, your friend hates you, so.
Yeah, Adam, please.
Easy to believe in.
please, Adam.
Adam, jeez.
Let's move on to some new stuff that we didn't know about previously to the Direct. So we got a brand new update to Nintendo Switch Sports. We got basketball. It's coming to, what's it called here? Spoko Square. It's a free update.
Yeah, it's Spoko, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I like how it doesn't have the same prominence as like Woohoo Island. I quite like saying that with Wii Sports Resort and Wii Fit.
Yeah,
Take me back to Woohoo Island. Take me back. Such a great place to run around. I love looking at the scenery. Wonderful stuff, Woohoo Island. But yeah, I heard that you were keen for this basketball being added. For me, I'm like, cool. It's cool that it's being added, but it's so random. It's like just it seemed like support finish, then like randomly, like over a year later, they're like, oh look, we're actually doing basketball. It's like, what? Okay,
this game should be dead, Drew. Over 2 years ago, they now suddenly decide to do it. This should have been released around about the same time as that golf update, or probably before the golf update, because even that was 6 months after the game released. It must have sold well for them to justify this. So random. The momentum for this game must have totally dropped off a cliff, or people are still buying it and they're still playing it. I don't know, but found it really odd. I loved Wii Sports Resort and playing the basketball and the 3-point contest. I had a 16th birthday. I had about 10 people come over and we played Wii Sports Resort, and I was so good at the Wii Motion Plus and sinking them baskets in. So that was a big nostalgia hit for me, seeing that again. Like, oh, okay, that'd be cool. I get to relive my childhood fantasy playing some basketball in the same contest. It's the same thing, effectively, as what the Wii Sports Resort offering had. So yeah, I'm just baffled by the timing, and so late. And does this mean we can hope or think more sports are going to be added to Nintendo Switch Sports? I don't know. It's like if Mario Party Superstars got DLC all this time later. It's so late now. Why? And why they wouldn't now, because the new game, obviously. But it's just as random as that, I felt.
Yeah, I guess it's just like an evergreen title. It's selling well. It's like approaching 10 million. Like it is. It's no slouch. It's like it's probably going to outsell, like, for example, like The Last of Us Part 2 on the PlayStation side. Like, it's just it is in that caliber. Like it's not really a slouch by any means.
No, no.
So it's just like a shot in the arm, being like, all right, look, this still exists. More content. Get it in the casual's eye potentially. Anybody that hasn't picked it up and move it on from there. But yeah, it's just, you can imagine like the teams just at Nintendo. It's like, just trying to find the resource. Oh, yeah, we've got a couple of men free. Why don't you go and do this? So yeah,
honestly,
I guess.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. All this 200 bit years later, it's hard to believe.
So cool to see it. I'll give it a go when it comes out. I'll get back into it. But Switch Sports, it just didn't have the same appeal. I think it was like the bowling, like a lot of the gameplay, like the feel, they didn't get it right. Like on the Wii, when like you let go of the B button to let go of the bowling ball, on Switch Sports, you don't let go of the trigger, and like it just doesn't feel like it doesn't feel as just satisfying like in all of the sports. Which is,
I agree. The Joy-Cons aren't as good with the motion, especially with Motion Plus, and it is slightly off. And that, I think some of the sports too, like badminton, I didn't really quite gel with. I
didn't mind it, but volleyball was like a little bit too complicated as well.
Yeah, I didn't like volleyball.
If I was just getting people over and playing that, but we'll report back on basketball once it's out.
Basketball.
We've got the new Dempermen coming July 22nd, and this was a game like Dempermen. Where do I recognize that from? And in like the bottom left corner, it says that the development team is Genius Sonority. I'm like, Genius Sonority, like that's a team that got created to make spin-off Pokemon games. That's the team behind Pokemon Colosseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. And as far as their own unique IP go, Dempermen is their IP. It's like it's an RPG that's been around for years, and this is it's been a studio that has been around since 2002. So it's got a lot of heritage, this studio, and it's weird that they've got such a prominent sort of role in I guess the world of Pokemon, as far as like, they've done that Pokemon Tarosi, Pokemon Battle Revolution. That's the team that done like these 3D Pokemon games since since the GameCube, which is kind of crazy. And for a direct just to have like a Dempermen and people will be like, don't know what it is, including myself. I can't say I'm a big Dempermen expert.
I had no idea what it was. Yeah,
but it might even be worth reading this description here. So, scour radial waves for the Dempermen, small creatures that call these invisible signals their home. You can't see them with the naked eye, but you can find them and catch them on Nintendo Switch. The new Dempermen is a free-to-play RPG where you can collect Dempermen for your party and adventure with them as your companions. In addition to the main adventure, there is plenty of fun to be had, like decorating your island, fishing, participating in limited time events, and playing against other players. Catch the new Dempermen when it launches on Nintendo Switch, 22nd of July. So, sort of a lot of heritage with the studio, and that kind of makes me interested because it is very much like a creature collecting game as well. That's it. It's a weird studio that's sort of wrapped up in the Pokemon Company in some ways. It's had investments from high ups in the Pokemon Company, and I don't know how its relationship is today with Pokemon Company. But they definitely had a major role.
Called? What's their name?
Genius Sonority.
Genius. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay.
Yes, you remember from the Splash stream.
Yeah, seeing it on my playing Gale of Darkness. Oh, that's so cool. Yes, of course. Okay. I just didn't know. Holy shit. Yeah,
so
I really
wanted to play. So it might have been worth giving it a go. Just it's purely interested me because of that. Because I'm like, Genius Sonority, like really, like the people behind one of the most
Pokemon
expensive
Cafe
games.
Pokemon Cafe Mix they've done and they're doing still. So that's they're still doing stuff.
Oh yes, yeah. No, it's cool. Just their interesting history.
Yep. Yeah, man. Yeah, they opened with Pokemon Colosseum and Gale of Darkness. Yeah, there you go. They just did Pokemon games for years, and then interesting. So they're an indirect kind of second-party developer from Nintendo through the Pokemon Company in a way. It's interesting.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Well, you know.
Cool. Yeah.
Next up, we've got Ace Attorney Investigations Collection. Step into the shoes of Miles Edgeworth, the esteemed prosecutor, framed for his relentless pursuit of justice. So yeah, a collection of a couple of Ace Attorney games. Are you an Ace Attorney man at all? Were you an Ace Attorney man on DS at all? I wasn't.
No, I should be though. I've heard so many good things about this series and I've never played it. I should be.
Yeah, I should too. It's always one of those games where I'm like, I should get that. I got the Ace Attorney collection cheap on Switch on a sale, like $20 or something. Like
they're
while
on sale
ago.
a lot. Yep.
Yeah, so maybe I'll play it one day. Maybe I won't. But in this collection, you get Ace Attorney Investigations, Miles Edgeworth, and for the first time in English outside of Japan, we got Ace Attorney Investigations 2, Prosecutor's Gambit. So yeah, pretty cool. Comes out on the 6th of September. Please be excited. Yep. All right, let's move on to the big one. On the 26th of September, The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. I think for me, this is the standout of the show because a lot of people going into this, I think it really did feel like it was time. All right, those Wind Waker and Twilight Princess ports, it's time. Why not? Is there anything else going on? Probably not. So I was pretty confident in it, much like we were every year. Like, surely it's Wind Waker time. Surely it's Wind Waker time.
Yep.
And it just never comes. But when this came on screen, like just straight away with like Link wearing like the cape, which looked similar to something from Tears of the Kingdom or something, I'm like, oh, this is like, it looks like something new, but in the same art style as Link's Awakening remake. I'm like, all right, cool. And as it's going on, it's like, is it a remake of like A Link to the Past or an Oracle's game or something like that?
Yep.
But yeah, as when like that thing goes around Link, I'm like, oh my God, like, are you going to play Zelda? Like that thought came into my head actually pretty early when Link started like fading into it and Zelda cracked out of him. Oh my God, you do. And she obviously walks off and you have that Breath of the Wild moment where she looks off at her castle and the rest of Hyrule, and there it is. The first game where you actually play as The Legend of Zelda. Well, play as Zelda in The Legend of Zelda, which is
that's right.
Very exciting, very exciting. So how did you feel watching this trailer? So this is like I guess just before I get that too, like how are you on 2D Zelda games? We played Minish Cap for the first time last year and you quite enjoyed it, but are you a fan of 2D Zelda games in general before, I guess, getting your thoughts on this trailer?
Yeah, well, so Zelda's kind of been a bit of a black spot for me in terms of my Nintendo gaming journey, and it hasn't really been until the Switch that I've really played some of these games. I played Link's Awakening in 2019 and really liked that. Really enjoyed that gameplay and the art style. Obviously, before that, played Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Love the open worldness of it all. But yeah, since then, played the Minish Cap and played Oracle of Seasons, and I really like these games now. That they're definitely growing on me, and so I was thinking I'd be keen for another 2D Zelda if it was a remake of we were hearing potentially A Link Between Worlds, the 3DS one, or Oracle of Seasons or Ages, even though we knew they'd just been on NSO, so that probably wasn't going to be the case. But yeah, I was really keen for something else from Grezzo to do after the remake of Link's Awakening in 2019. So I watched the direct with Michaela next to me. She really wanted a Zelda game, and that was her thing with this. And so she was really keen for Wind Waker. With all the sort of discussions, she was thinking, hopefully get Wind Waker. That'd be a great game. I want to play Zelda, she was saying. And then we saw that leak from Pyro that it's going to be a 2D remake of a Zelda game. That was like his rumored tweet just before. So yeah, he just did it very late in the whole thing. Because I was wondering, he hasn't leaked anything Nintendo related. Does he not know anything this time? Have Nintendo increased their security or ways to not try and get these leaks out? Yeah, and so he was half right, but not quite on the money. And so yeah, when this rocked up and we saw the trailer, I thought, okay, we've got the Link's Awakening look to it. That's really good. And we were doing the same thing. We're just watching the fight sequence. Like, is this a remake or is this brand new? And once Link sort of sunk into the void down below and Zelda was free, we're kind of like, oh shit, this is actually like a remake. A brand new game. And then she's walking outside and like, oh no, is this actually like Zelda's playable. Like, this has been talked about for years and never actually done. This is actually happening now, and for it to actually be confirmed that way, Michaela lost it and absolutely loved it. So that was really cool. That was a really cool moment just to be there with her, and she was just like, "This is like everything I've wanted in a Zelda game. Like, finally we can play as Zelda, which is it's something I think a lot of especially girls playing these games really wanted to have and see, and it's just great that we get another female lead in a game. And I love the twist. This whole Echoes aspect to her. I've seen a little bit of people maybe just wanting the sword, but I just love how they decided no, it's got to be something different. It's something her she is wisdom, and that's her part of the Triforce. And so I think a staff and using the Echoes to create ways to get through the map and solve puzzles a bit more in open world ways, I think a really cool thing. So I'm very keen for this. So we'll be playing this day one with Michaela as well, and it'll be a great time. It looks so good. Can't wait.
I can't wait either. And what I love about it as well, like, when have we had a brand new Zelda game being announced and 3 months time she's out? Like, that especially is awesome. That's what sort of elevates this as well. Yeah, because you can imagine this, it makes such a difference. Like, if this leaked and we knew about it, say, at the start of the year, it would have made a difference. But if we got this announcement and then it was like, oh, play it March 2025, it's like, oh, okay. It really takes that sort of excitement away from it. But just the fact, like, all right, 3 months time, should be out, should be playable, enjoy it. So, yeah, that's what sort of really elevated it for me as well. But I think just the change in gameplay, how they really sort of take into consideration the character and change the gameplay around her and her abilities and all of that. Because Link is courage. He's the one who's, the whole thing is adventure. He's going out there taking on these big baddies that are bigger, badder than him. But Zelda's wisdom, and she's and the idea of putting gameplay mechanics around. All right, so this is somebody who's thoughtful, who thinks ahead, and all of those things, and having like abilities like the Echo is sort of really great. Anybody that didn't catch it, that there's around the overworld there's certain objects that glitter, and you're able to sort of save them to your, I guess, item bank or your inventory in some ways, and when you're able to recreate those wherever in the overworld, you can recreate enemies to attack for you. You can use stuff like tables and blocks of water and stuff to elevate yourself up to higher levels. So just the idea of like the puzzle solving and hopefully the multiple ways of solving the same puzzle, similar to what we've experienced in the last couple of Zelda games. Hopefully that plays into great effect as well. Like, somebody might just stack up tables and do a really weird sort of MacGyver thing, and somebody might have like a much simpler sort of elegant solution to it, and be a good like water cooler sort of game to discuss dungeons and how you got to certain dungeons and took on enemies. Did you use the rock? Did you have a big army behind you? A lot of awesome possibilities when it comes to this game. So I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, they've taken a big leaf out of Tears of the Kingdom, I feel, with that customization. And what Anuma even said, he hasn't even counted all the different Echo combinations to sort of solve things. And so, I really hope there's a lot of cool ways to solve some things. I hope it is not just stacking beds on top of each other to get to high points like I saw partway through the trailer. I got a little bit worried about that, thinking I was just going to stack things and that's how you get through it. But I love the idea you can summon a rock and use it against your enemies, or you can use the enemies and use them to fight other enemies. And it sounds like it's going to be one of those games where you just use your imagination. And we're going to see some really cool clips on Twitter or X about how people have solved some things like we did with Tears of the Kingdom. I think taking that leaf out of that game, I think, is a great thing. I really hope they keep going. I really want this to be ongoing 2D Zelda in between 3D Zelda, like we're getting with Metroid now. I feel like we have with Mario. It just works so well. I think these people want these games still. There was a time maybe 15 years ago where it was just 3D. We don't care about the 2D stuff, but that's definitely changed now. And really good fun experiences in a more sort of localized way are still great and still wanted, even if people really want the open world stuff. the issue with that is it's every 7, 8, probably 9 years gap
Yeah.
with the way we're going. So we need stuff like this to sort of keep us entertained in between.
Yeah. And I guess just touching on the point you made about the combat and people saying, oh, I wish I just had a sword. It depends how they set up this game and how they sort of take that in mind. Because if you come across like, say, 2 or 3 enemies and you're putting down a rock, you're picking it up, you're throwing it, you're putting down a rock, you're picking up, you're throwing it. I can see some situations if they don't sort of balance it for that, you can see some situations where it's like, oh, please, I wish I just had a sword. I really do just wish I had a sword.
Yeah.
So I hope that enemy encounters are set up more as puzzles, maybe similar to what they were in Skyward Sword with the Motion Plus, where it's like, oh, I've got to swipe this way. Hopefully there is like some situation where it's like, oh, this enemy is obviously weak against rock or water or whatever, and then it's like a one hit. But it does take that sort of, I guess, just thinking about it, what enemy or what item to use in your repertoire to be able to use, and that's it, rather than just doing chip damage with like all of your just random objects that you've copied with your abilities.
Yeah, I'm with you there. But, that could be a big concern if they don't do it right, but I've got faith that it won't feel like that, hopefully.
Hopefully not. But some speculation, will we play as Link at all in this game? Because a lot of these games, there's low rule, there's the dark world, there's all of these things. Link has been sucked into a dark world. And, don't know, will we be playing as Link in a different dimension? Don't know. Who knows?
I mean, do you get to play as Link at the start there? Do you reckon it will be, you have to get there? Or, I don't know, is this all a cutscene? There's a good chance we don't play
but who knows? All.
Yeah, we really don't know. I think it'd be cool if you don't. I think it'd be really cool throughout the whole thing. Yeah, let's not muddy it by having him in there as well. It's a Zelda game. Let's just have her there and that's it, I reckon.
I agree. It's a bit of a cop-out being like, oh, look, there's like half the game. You're in this dark world and you got a sword and the bow and arrow and the hook shot. It's like, kind of wanted that different experience. We've had, obviously, the Link experience multiple times. It's time to give Zelda her shine. But it's a bit like in Super Princess Peach where, like, you play as Mario in some levels. It's like, I don't know, there's plenty of Mario games we can we'll just go and play
correct.
them.
Yeah, you could have just gone all in and that would have been better. Yeah.
But it is a conversation too. Like, who's making this game? We assume Grezzo because of
I assume so.
Yeah, them making the remake of Link's Awakening and using that art style again, and it sort of makes sense to them to be working with that engine and their assets. And also with Enuma saying that he hasn't like used all of the echoes, seems like he's not as hands-on with it necessarily. Because if he was like the main director or something, you probably would know, you would think, but I'm not quite sure. But that's what I sort of got from that. I wish they just told us, like, because this would be Grezzo's first original Zelda game. They've done the remakes, done the 3 remakes, and this will be their first original Zelda game, which will be exciting for them, I would imagine. So hope it turns out well.
Yeah, I think it's probably a good educated guess. It would be them, especially with the art style. I would love to know. And then Mario and Luigi, we don't know that either. So yeah, again, Nintendo, just tell us. It would be nice to know. Just because. No
Show
real
some
proper
respect
reason. We
to
just
people
want to
that
know.
make the games. Christ almighty.
Yeah, for them, not for us. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And with the game announcement, we got a brand new hardware announcement as well. A limited edition Nintendo Switch Lite Hyrule Edition. It's got the Hylian crest on the back with a nice Triforce pattern across it. And it's got a nice gold body, black sticks, black buttons. And comes out the same day. It's also includes a 12 months Nintendo Switch online subscription as too. So you can jump straight into your Game Boy Advance games, Nintendo 64, SNES, NES, all that stuff with it as well. It's a little bit more on EB Games. It's $339, whereas a normal Switch Lite is, say, was it $320? So you're paying $20 more. So I think they actually put that price in the box with it. So it's not for free.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, it's not really for free.
Yeah. No.
It's cheaper, but yeah.
Yeah. You're not considering getting this one at all?
No, I'd love to. It looks great. It looks really nice, but
Looks good.
yeah, don't need a Switch Lite. Don't need one.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. A few people in
Because
our
yeah,
Discord have picked it up or pre-ordered it.
beautiful. I'm happy for them, but I've got
Yes.
I've got a big list of games that I'm very excited for, and I'll spend the money on them. Can't
No, fair
really do
enough.
another Switch. Is what it is.
No.
All right. Let's move on from the Zelda talk. Let's talk about Super Mario Party Jamboree. This comes out on the 17th of October. And there's a fair bit of stuff here, so I'll make sure I read the description here. Mario and friends are arriving on an enormous island resort for the latest entry of the Mario Party series. Explore 5 game boards, ride the escalators on the Rainbow Garbarella, stay on track in Roll'em Raceway, and mix things up with an active volcano in Goomba Lagoon, just to name a few. 2 boards from previous Mario Party games are making a return. 2, in addition, over 100 minigames to test your wits, with some minigames that feature motion controls. That's not all. Up to 20 players can go head-to-head in online play in the Koopathon mode. The biggest Mario Party yet will come out the 17th. Lost my way there.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
no, you're right.
So yeah, Josh, you're the Mario Party man. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I went through a roller coaster when I watched this because I saw the Super Mario Party logo at the start. I'm thinking, oh no, not one of those, because I don't.
Not one of those.
No, because Super Mario Party I wasn't too fond of. It's fine. It's not as good as it could be. And then Mario Party Superstars is really where Mario Party shines on the Switch. So I was hoping for more of that, a sequel to that one, but they really wanted to make the point here that while it's Super Mario Party, and we're getting more boards, there are a lot of modes. And so the more they talked about it, it was more than just a 30-second it's coming out, it's going to be a standard Mario Party. There's some beefiness to this. This is a bit of a hunky chunky right here. We've got a bit of 7 boards. We've got over 110 mini games. And then this online mode where up to 20 players go head to head in this Koopathon, whatever it's called, has kind of piqued my interest here. And so I feel like, yeah, they're trying to sort of appease people. I feel a little like, no, there's a lot of content here, a lot of fun to be had. So I went from being at the start to being like, okay, that's good. I'm optimistic and looking forward to this one now. So, seems about every 3 years we get one. We had one in 2018, Super Mario Party. We had Superstars in 2021, and now 2024 we're having Jamborees. So, yeah, I always love a good Mario Party, and so be a good chance to get everyone over. And we've got some good friends that we play these games with, and the online, I'm hoping it's going to be good. We've played a lot of online games on the Switch, and some of them are very bad, and they don't really fix it. And so I hope it gets a decent run and it runs well, because like Super Mario Maker 2 or even Smash Bros, I find like the connection's just not there, and it just makes it really hard to play at all online.
Certainly does. Yeah. What sort of situations do you play the Mario Parties in? Do you play them much online, or do you get friends over? Do you play with Michaela, just 2-player? Because for me, I know that like I've picked up the last couple of Mario Parties, and I'm like, I just barely play them. And when people come over, I want to play Smash Brothers or Mario Kart or just other games, to be honest with you. Like the whole board game thing, I'm not super into. But the 20-player has sort of piqued my interest. But what is the sort of sitting scenario when you're like, all right, crack out in the Mario Party, it's time to break some friendships?
Yeah, it is best couch co-op. So in the room together, you can argue, you can throw things at each other, you can ruin your friendships or your relationships. That is the way to do it. So in person, I had 2 brothers growing up, so it's the 3 of us who always played the games together. So we were really big on them. I've gotten Michaela into it over the last couple of years, playing a few Mario Parties together. We just play the 2 of us. Then we'll have 2 CPUs as well to make 4 players. She's getting better, and she beats me a lot of the time now, and is probably I'm gonna call her an equal in terms of Mario Party now.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
um,
Whisper that one. Don't let her know
yeah,
that.
yeah, correct. She might
Boost
be
that
next door.
ego.
So, yeah, we've got another couple that we've done. Like, we're going to do a whole series of games together and just have an excuse to sort of say hello to each other and hang out. So, um, yeah, it's definitely better in person, but obviously adding online in those extra modes is just a bonus and only helps sell these games more. I'm the opposite of you, Drew. I'm like, if friends are over, like it's either Mario Kart or Mario Party. It's less so the Smash Bros. I think. Yeah, love a good sort of board game, and also like the Mario Party genre just sort of fits that to a T.
Oh, this works in well for you then. Yeah, this. I think the idea for me, like, look, I don't want to just sit here and just do the 4-player game, but if I can pick it up just whenever, don't have to organize friends and that to play it with, and do like the 20-player mode.
Yeah.
Because you can see Mario Party working well as not like a battle royale, but you can see it as like this large player count where like lots of people are jumping in and out and playing the mini games, and if you fail one, you're out type of thing, and it's like a big race. You can see it. I can see it working quite well. So
yeah, it's like Fall Guys, kind of could be like that.
Yeah, that's right. Like doing you can see like Mario Party working really well on that. If they can sort of give you that other option as well as like just your standard boards and getting stuffed over because you land on the wrong space and all of the shenanigans that come out from that. I think, it could be a lot of fun. So I'll be interested to see how this goes, whether there's previews or reviews closer to launch. I'll be pretty keen to check this out. But this is our big October game, 17th of October. So please be excited.
Please.
Next, please. Next up, on the 24th of October, we've got Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. Don't have too much to say about this, but if I had more time, I would like to try like all of these just random Square Enix JRPGs they remaster and put out. There's so many of them. Even if you're like a Square Enix fanboy, I don't know how you would keep up with them.
So many.
I don't think they do, to be honest. I think you've either got to pick or choose when it comes to your JRPG choice, but it looks good. It looks good. It was one of the third-party Switch games. So I'm like, that actually doesn't look off-putting. It looks good. But I like the idea of sort of deciding what continents to take over and your relationships and how everything's affected. It looks pretty cool. So
okay, yeah.
If I ever get the time, which I won't, I'll play it. But
yeah,
I won't. Just Dance 2025 edition coming out October as well. Got 40 new hot songs you can jump around to. And I've got nothing to say about this. I've never bought or played a Just Dance game, but is this just on Switch now? Is this on PlayStation and Xbox still? Because I don't know how you would play it on those systems.
I don't gauge it.
Yeah, I can't say
this is my breather time. This was after Echoes of Wisdom, and so I could just talk to Michaela while this was on.
Oh yeah, this is like get up, have a stretch, get a drink.
Correct.
Crack your knuckles, put some wood on the fire.
Yeah, pay no attention to this at all. Yes, not my thing.
Next up, we got. I'm just looking at it here. It's got the red line through it because it's been like it looks. My I guess word processor thinks that it's like spelt incorrectly, but it's Farmagia.
Yes,
that plant monster game. But
whatever that was, yeah.
So it's from the creator of Rave Master and Fairy Tale, and they're teaming up with Marvelous to present a brand new adventure full of frantic monster combat and farming. A diplodical overlord imposes an oppressive regime on the world's inhabitants, and it's up to you and your fellow Farmagia. Yeah, when they said that in the direct, I'm like, what'd you call me? Farmagia, Jesus Christ. To stop him, explore, battle, collect resources, grow and command an army of monsters and upgrade your skills. Gather your monsters and take stand against the regime when Farmagia plants itself onto Nintendo Switch November 1st. So I liked the sort of idea like that was being put to me, like sort of the gameplay loop, similar to Pokemon, but instead of catching them, you're growing them. Bit of a sort of life sim, farming sim as you're doing that, you're managing that, you're doing your monsters, and you're going out there and you're being a Famagia, taking down regimes and all that. But don't know, the actual gameplay didn't really inspire much in me. I'm like, don't know. It was one of those Switch games where I'm like, man, it's looking like a Switch game. Unfortunately, it's just one of those. But I'll be in. Yeah. It's Nintendo's put it under my nose. I've had a whiff. I'm like, yeah, maybe. So now when it pops up, I know the scent. And if previews or anything like that are like, yeah, it's pretty fun. Like I can see myself potentially, but I've got a massive list of games. I don't know where Magia is going to pop itself in there.
Yeah, but we were joking that hadn't been a farm sim game in the direct at that point, and then this game pops up pretty well as we said it. We were laughing at that stage, and so I think it interested Michaela a little. If it comes out at the right time, it might be something she buys. But outside of that, don't have much else to say.
Mario and Luigi Brothership. And this is an exciting one. So this started off the show.
Yes.
And this was not in any of our predictions for the opener to the show. And should it have been? No, probably not. This was a real surprise when it started off. And a few seconds in, I was like, is this the RPG? Because like the art style and the graphics was on the box art of like all of the games since Superstar Saga on Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
So I really love that they took like that art style and integrated it into the games itself. There is something lacking as far as like visually about it. It looks a little bit strange in some ways.
It looks like a 3DS game ported to the Switch, I feel.
It does. It does. So there's there's a little bit of polish or a bit of shine missing from it. And even in the way, like on the actual box art itself, it looks like they didn't put shadows in. It looks a bit flat, even compared to key art from previous Mario and Luigi games. So there's that, but that's all that I've really got to say negative about it. I'm very excited about a Mario and Luigi game coming back. Another RPG game. So in 12 months, we're going to have like remakes of 2 of the most famous Mario RPG games, as well as a brand new title from the Mario and Luigi series, which is cool.
A lot of RPG stuff, though, isn't it? In 13 months, effectively, we've had Super Mario RPG, Paper Mario, and then this. It's I'm not complaining about it. It's just a lot of Mario RPG in a very somewhat, concentrated period of time, especially in the Switch's life. I don't know. Just so
couldn't you spread this out?
Surely goes through. Yeah.
Fucking starve this for the whole generation.
Yeah, correct.
But no, for the decade. You've started this for over a decade, and then you're like, because Mario RPG came out November last year, didn't it? So it has just been 12 months for all 3. So it's like 3 months. You've done like, all right, we're gonna remake 2 of the just fan favorites and do a brand new one in this series. So like, Jesus Christ, where was this? Done one a year for the last 3 years, but oh well.
Yeah, I love this announcement. Firstly because I thought the series might be dead because Alpha Dream's gone. If Nintendo's going to pick it up, would they bother? Obviously they deem it to be something worthwhile and want to keep going, which is awesome. Really good. I think this is a great series to have ongoing. I want to know who made this game as well, because it's not Alpha Dream. They're gone. They are out of here, dead, buried, cremated. It is someone else in the Nintendo ecosystem. So I'd be very interested to know, because that obviously has implications for whether they're going to keep doing this series ongoing or whether they've outsourced it. Wouldn't be surprised if they did that to another developer they forged a relationship with. This seems like the kind of game they would do that with. I love the name Brothership. It's such a cozy name, especially for these 2, Mario and Luigi, working together. This is very melts my heart a little bit, warmed my heart when I saw the name. So I loved it. These games are super cool. And 9 years since the last new one. We've had a couple of remakes on the 3DS. So it was a great surprise. And this was the opening one. So I thought, okay, we're going to get some really good stuff here. This really set the direct off in a good direction.
Yeah, the name for me when it came out with the name like Mario and Luigi, like brothership, and that slid in, did the transition. I'm like, oh, that's nice, and
That's
it's a
nice.
nice little pun too. It works with like the whole theme of the game, riding on the ship on islands and stuff. It
Yeah.
works in a couple of ways. So yeah, really enjoyed that. I'm looking
I
forward
loved
to
all
it.
the
Yeah.
names, by the way. All the names that Nintendo did for their IP. Echoes of
Of
did I
Wisdom.
say
That's
that
a
right?
great name.
Sorry, I thought I said it the wrong way. Yeah, it was Echoes first. I was thinking, is it Wisdom first? No, Echoes of Wisdom, and then Beyond. I just loved them all.
Just a guess. Who do you think is developing it? Put your guess out there before we know. Once people actually see the credits, for me, it's Next Level Games.
Really? I'm gonna
It could
go.
It could be just like a.
I'm gonna go with a
someone we don't know
completely.
too.
Yeah, someone we don't know, someone non-related to Nintendo that they've outsourced it to, and that might be a new ongoing thing that they contract them to do. That's my guess.
Yeah, and it's probably like for me, like with Next Level, I just said that because like, oh, we don't know what they're doing. But if I was Nintendo, I'd be like, you're gonna make a Luigi's Mansion 4.
You're making Luigi's Mansion 4 right now.
Yeah,
correct. Do not focus on this couple of million selling Mario and Luigi game. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that might make sense about like what we mentioned about just the look of the game. I love how they took that artistic look from the key art, but also it's missing something as well. Maybe that has something to do with that. But yeah, gonna be fun. November 7th.
Very good.
Get ready.
Not long.
Not long at all. Dragon Quest III HD 2D is going to be coming out on Nintendo Switch the 14th of November. It's one I've been looking forward to. I've been wanting to play these games, and I'm a sucker for this 2D HD look. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
the game looks great. So I'm very much looking forward to this, and I'll be picking it up. But it is also one of those games that if anything slips on my list, especially out of like this Nintendo Direct, this will probably be the one just because it's a bigger game. And out of all of these, I could probably drop this the easiest. But in saying that, I do like to support Square Enix when they're doing this type of thing. Because, I want more developers to do it, especially Nintendo. And when it comes to Pokemon, I think that'll be just a dream come true for a Pokemon game to look like this. Like this is the millennial dream, Josh. When it comes to that stuff. But did it pique your interest at all, as far as just like looking pretty, or any interest in playing it yourself?
It looks great, and then I'm with you. I love this whole HD 2D treatment. Square are so good at it, and I wish Nintendo would do it with some of their IPs, like Pokemon Black and White. I think that'd be a perfect one for that. Would be amazing. It's just gonna have to come out at a good time for me, with not much else to play. I feel, because I've played 11S Echoes of an Elusive Age, and really enjoyed that. So I should get into the older ones because I only hear amazing things. But then I should get into Final Fantasy, the old ones as well, and I haven't yet. So maybe one day.
It's hard to play what's coming out, let alone be like dipping back to 30 years ago. Yeah, I'll play that game 30 years ago.
Yeah, and correct.
Yeah, I've been really wanting to do Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest and all this. So this is probably another failed attempt to be like, yes, Dragon Quest 3. But they went on to announce that they're also doing 1 and 2 in the HD 2D remakes, and that's coming in a pack later next year to Switch and all platforms. But I'm like, wait a minute. Shouldn't I play 1, 2, 3 in that order? And it's funny when they just immediately answer the question, be like, no, that's all right. This is chronological order. 3, 1, 2. I'm like, oh, well, cool.
Oh, that's
I'll
great.
do that then.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, good.
Easy peasy. Thanks for that. So it is what it is. 1 and 2 next year. Please be excited.
Yeah, please. Yeah, nice little bonus on top.
Lego Horizon Adventures. We did see this at Summer Games Fest. We've only seen the PlayStation 5 footage, and now we know what it looks like on Switch. And it was weird seeing that like the PlayStation, PC, and other platforms publishing label in the bottom left corner at a Nintendo Direct.
Yes.
Yeah. And also that this game did not appear at the PlayStation State of Play. It was at Summer Game Fest, but it was at a Nintendo Direct. So it wasn't even at Sony's own event, but it was here.
No.
So really, this is awesome. I'm looking forward to this game. I'm going to be playing it on PlayStation 5. It looks so good on PlayStation 5. Like, you know, those Lego bits look shiny and real, and I want it. I want it looking like that. So I'll be playing it over there. It's native home where Aloy. No,
you feel like you're not cheating on PlayStation by playing it on Nintendo Switch, because it's a weird feeling, and I think the only way PlayStation or Sony would have their IP on a Nintendo system, like the only way, making it Lego.
I think it's a really smart move by PlayStation. Like, Horizon is probably the franchise that they are looking to build upon the most. They want this thing to be a massive, massive thing. Horizon 1, it was a massive seller. It sold over 20 million. And then like the PC launch was big. Horizon Forbidden West, big as well. And they're looking to do like a bunch of other stuff. Like there's an MMO in the works. There's a bunch of stuff. There's a Netflix show. Yeah. And I guess what PlayStation's main problem is that that they don't really have younger demographics coming in and playing their games and getting excited. Because you think about it from like our point of view, a lot of people transition from, say, a Game Boy, then they got a PlayStation 2 and they were playing, whether it was like PlayStation 1 days with Spyro, Crash, all of that type of thing, then moving on to PlayStation 2 and having a bunch of their mascots, but sort of moving from PS3 to PS4, and especially now on PS5, there really isn't that sort of family genre to play on there. Like, when Lucas is a bit older, I really don't have him. I really don't have too much to show him on PlayStation. Like, in all honesty, like, do you want to play something? It's probably like a Lego game. You got Astrobot coming out this year, which would be a good one to show, but there really isn't much. So when they're looking how to build Horizon into like a bigger franchise, it is work with brands like Lego, make it family friendly, get it to where the kids are, which is Switch, and see if that works. I'm especially interested just from like a business or just industry point of view. Like, does this work? Would it work for other franchises from other companies, getting them to where they need to be? So I'm keen to say that, and I'm keen to play the game. So
they need more games for everyone, and getting kids in like Nintendo does, because Nintendo retains them, a lot of them anyway, through the years, and you know, like us, look what they've done to us.
Yeah,
look how they've
exactly.
morphed
We are
our lives.
We're the example.
Yes, and so things like Astrobot coming later this year, big family friendly games that everyone can play and enjoy, and more of that will get more people into PlayStation, I suppose. So it's a smart thing to do.
Siphon off those kids. I enjoyed that pregnant pause. Next up is Stray. This is a game that we're both fans of. We played when it released on PlayStation. So this is just a great game. So I'm going to read this blurb just so we make sure we hit everything, because this is a game I want people to play if they didn't have access to it before. So the critically acclaimed and award-winning cat adventure game published by Annapurna Interactive and developed by Blue 12 Studio is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Take on the role of a stray cat separated from its family and untangle an ancient mystery to escape a long-forgotten cyber city. Roam areas high and low, neon lit and murky. Explore this unwelcoming place inhabited by droids and dangerous creatures when Stray slinks its way to Nintendo Switch this summer. So yeah, this was a really special game. On PlayStation, it looks really nice. On Switch, the port looks not too bad. If you're playing in handheld mode, I can see this looking fine. If you blow it up on the TV, I was looking at like the anti-aliasing and the resolution. I think that has taken a massive hit on Switch. I think you're going to be playing this like 480 on handheld mode, for example.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think if you want to play handheld, it will be fine. But if you blow this up on your TV, you're like, oh, maybe keep it on handheld. But yeah, this was a great game. I fell in love with this game. Great story. So much fun just exploring the city as a cat. Plenty of secrets. Yeah, I think it was great.
Oh, it was so good. And this is a great one to bring to Switch, just to bring a bigger, wider audience to it. Yeah, I love this game, and the more people that play it, the better. It didn't look too bad. I agree with you. It stacked up okay. And for the benefit of portable play, it's probably worth it for some people anyway. And so wouldn't surprise me if it does pretty well.
Fingers crossed. Hope it works. I'm sure it will.
Yes.
We got Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. 7 beloved arcade classics, including X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes, and more are back to duke it out on Nintendo Switch. This collection features iconic characters and moves, along with added features and enhancements like online functionality. I like to think that this asterisk stands for may not work well on Nintendo Switch. Who knows?
Yeah. Well,
this trading modes, custom matches, spectator features, a museum, a music player, display filters, a one-button special move. Just to name a few. Also included is an arcade version of the beat 'em up game, The Punisher, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade. It comes to Nintendo Switch later this year. So I'm looking forward to this one. A lot of people in the fighting game community Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is just such a beloved classic. It's one of the most beautiful sprite animation in gaming. It really is just exceptional. So I'm looking forward to finally playing it. I've probably mush some buttons in it and don't know how much I'll get into it.
There might be some gem of games that you might really be surprised by. And then the Punisher's beat 'em up as well. So you might really like that one.
Yeah, so I don't know. Who knows? That might be one. I have to try and get someone to get him in a headlock. Like, get this so we can play the Punisher. I got no idea if the Punisher is a beloved classic or a piece of crap. I got no idea.
Yeah,
I never thought about the Punisher arcade game before today. So, don't know. Is there anything you're interested in? For me, I'll probably pick it up on PlayStation just fingers crossed the online functionality. Give myself a better chance at it working.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something entirely for me. I'd be probably interested in the one beat 'em up game outside of all that, so I probably wouldn't be justifying buying the entire collection just for that. Probably more so one of my friends buys it, and I'll just go to their house and play it next time we catch up, something like that.
Yep, get in the car, travel 4 hours, come and play the Punisher with Drew.
Yeah, well, you come here. You come to Adelaide.
Oh, either or. Yeah, I guess I can. Guess I could do that, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. If you have to.
Actually, and another thing as I was looking through it today, there's no physical edition for this on Switch, only on PlayStation 4.
Okay. Interesting.
PlayStation 4 has a physical copy. But
PS4,
previous, PS4. It's not PS5. It's
not
PS4.
PS5. Okay.
Which it doesn't really make much difference. It's not like you're going to be getting the extra frame rates from PS5 for this game. But it is strange because other arcade classics that Capcom have done for Street Fighter, they have had a physical edition on Switch and PS4. So interesting that they opted out for Switch on this one. Probably just because of the cartridge costs and things like that. But frustrating if you are if you're a physical game collector for Switch. And especially for this game, because Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it disappeared for such a long time. Like it is one of the games where it's like, I'm going to get this. So when it gets, I don't want it to be delisted again and disappear.
Yeah, get it while you can kind of thing.
A bit like Scott Pilgrim when that disappeared for years and it just got its re-release.
Yeah. All these years later.
This was a prediction of mine and it came true. Fantasian Neo Dimension announced it's come to Switch this summer. This was an Apple Arcade launch title from Miss Walker and the Final Fantasy series creator Nabu. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Too late in the night to try and read Japanese names. I really don't want to butcher it. I should know it anyway. But this was a really interesting game that I played on iPhone and iPad for a little bit. I got Apple Arcade. I subscribed for a few months when it first came out, when I got my new iPhone. And it's really interesting. It's got actual photographed diorama background. So everything in the background is real. It's been modeled into the game. It's been created by hand, which gives it a kind of a cool look. And has an interesting battle system as well, which I thought was quite interesting, but I probably didn't play much more than 3 hours. Just on my phone and that. It wasn't really the platform I wanted to play a massive game on. But
yeah,
cool, it's on Switch. We'll see if it finds a market on Switch. It'll be interesting to see how much it costs too, because this game's never had a price since it was just Apple Arcade only. So we'll see how it goes.
Okay,
I hope it,
yes.
Yeah.
And so what was your background with knowing this would come?
It got listed on Steam, so I was like, well, this is a Nintendo Direct game through and through. So it's like, all right, well, yeah, it's obviously the time it's moving off of Switch. And there's been a lot of Apple Arcade games that we've seen being migrated. Later in the show, we're going to talk about Hello Kitty Island Adventure. That's an Apple Arcade exclusive.
Yes.
The last Partner Direct, there was a Ninja Turtles game where it was like a roguelite. You're going through as the Ninja Turtles, getting abilities, and that's like, that looks pretty cool. That was an Apple Arcade exclusive. So we're seeing a lot of these sort of marketing things running out over on the Apple side, and they're coming to Switch. And Nintendo seems to be quite happy to market them. So that's why we're seeing so many of them.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
So that's everything from 2024. We're moving on to stuff from next year. So the only game next year that we have a date for is Donkey Kong Country Returns HD on the 16th of July. Oh, sorry, not July, January. That's a long way to think ahead. I'm still in July. Can't think too much ahead in July. But Donkey Kong Country Returns, I actually finished it for the first time this year, the 3D version on 3DS. So I'm fresh off of it. So I'm not coming back to it. Oh my God, it's this game that I haven't played in a long time. It's coming to Switch finally. So I just played this. And what I do throughout the year is I keep rank of my favorite games that I've beaten this year. And Donkey Kong Country Returns 3D is actually at the top of my list. It's my favorite game that I've played this year. So I'm very fond of the game. I love it. I love it so much. And it's great that it's getting a release on Switch. Cool. Be in HD, won't need the motion controls to roll, have the 3DS levels added in. It's all good stuff. But I will say the price, I see it's up for pre-order on Amazon for $80. My fucking God. Calm down, Nintendo. Like, this is a $40 Australian game through and through. Like, $50. Like, please. Like, this game came out in 2010. It's getting HDified, but not really much. Like, it doesn't seem like it justifies that price, because I only say that because I would happily say pick it up for like $50. Like, oh, look, get this on Switch, HD, all of that. But for the price of Mario Odyssey at launch, or, these, I don't know, I don't see the money's worth. But they have the data. They see that there's people that weren't alive in 2010 that want to play Donkey Kong, and there'll be a brand new one on the shelf, and that'll be it. But so it's a little bit hard to get excited about it in that respect.
Yes. I get half a point here, Drew, because I said a 2D Donkey Kong will be coming. I said a brand new one, so my bad that we get a remaster, or sorry, a remake. Sorry,
bastard.
It's a remaster. I'm a little filthy for Donkey Kong fans here. I just we've had six years since Tropical Freeze came out on the Switch, and then 10 years since the actual Tropical Freeze came out on the Wii U, and that's the last new game. And so we're just getting another, a remaster of a game that's already had one on the 3DS. And so this, out of all the remakes and remasters we've had this year, with people saying the Switch is winding down, to me, this is the most one that's eeks and smells of, yes, we just need to get something out for people to play. And so this game's great, and I would look forward to playing it on the Switch. But yeah, like you said, the $80 is way too much. We should be getting a new 2D Donkey Kong by now. And disrespect for Donkey Kong is paramount. I'm just hoping this is something they want to get out there because it means something proper is coming. But it's still too long. Still too long between drinks for this series, which is a really great platforming series. I know you really love the Donkey Kong Country games. I really like them too. They're amazing platformers that have a great mix of challenge, but also a great way to play it still with the music and how the actual levels are created. It just melds together really so well. So it deserves more love, and it just doesn't get it, sadly, Donkey Kong. But we can play this one for the third time on Switch early next year.
Yeah. I just wonder, like, where would the series go? Because Retro rebooted it, made a sequel. Something happened. I don't know whether they're working on Donkey Kong or whatever, but we've had like a 10-year gap. We'll have more than a 10-year gap before Metroid Prime 4 comes out. So was that a Donkey Kong game that got scrapped, or were they moving on to something else? But what other studio would take it on? Who could they trust to work with Donkey Kong? And I also believe that the next like 3D Mario game will heavily involve Donkey Kong as a character in it.
Yeah, well,
so I think Donkey Kong will get some love, maybe not in his own series with the 2D returns going on. But it's a little bit frustrating, that price, but pretty cool.
Yes.
Pretty cool anyway. Dolphin Pants in the chat, they do mention that a lot of the synergy with the sort of the theme parks, all of that going on. Donkey Kong, he's a big character, so you want him there, and it is cool. That,
for sure.
I guess just from a Switch library point of view. Yeah, 100%. A Switch library point of view, it is nice to have both of the new returns, and Tropical Freeze on the same system.
For sure.
That's cool.
For sure. Yeah.
So yeah, just cough up the money. Don't worry about it. Just give Nintendo some money. They'll take it.
$80 is steep for this. Yeah.
$80 is very steep.
I'm usually pretty good with these, but this one, especially with the history of the releases for this. Yeah. $80 is a lot.
That's the thing. That's the thing when it comes to Nintendo. I quite like that they're like, hey, buy the game, and apart from expansions, we'll leave you alone. No microtransactions, we'll leave you alone. So that works. That works in your favor sometimes. You get a game like Mario Odyssey or like these just immaculate, amazing games. $80, they leave you alone. No microtransactions. Splatoon 3 and 2, they don't nickel and dime you. They just ask for an expansion. But then it's on the other side as well. We're like, hey, look, we've got this Mario vs. Donkey Kong game where we remade a Game Boy Advance game. $80, please. We got this Wii game, which we're just moving over. And instead of waggling it, you can press the A button. $80, please. It works both ways. Yeah. And actually, in the chat too, Dolphin Pants again just brings up a great point. Returns was just a game that's on these was on Nintendo Selects on 3DS and Wii. Like, this was real cheap.
Really cheap.
By the end of both of those platforms.
Yes.
So the idea of picking it up for $30 on 3DS when that game, came to the Selects or Wii.
Yes.
Or in 2024, being like, all right,
now.
I'll pay $80. Yeah. It's like double the price. Now that's crazy.
Yeah.
Good on them though. Good for them. It's up. Look,
they'll get away with it. People will buy it.
If you're like, for me, I will not buy this for $80. There's no way in hell. Maybe on a sale just to have it, like to play it on TV and not have the Wii plugged in. Look, I don't have anything that's plugging in the Wii anyway, because obviously I'm doing that anyway this year. But don't know, that price really rubs me the wrong way. I hope it's just a placeholder, which it very well could be. And this conversation could be mute. But
I might just play it again on my Wii when it comes out.
Save some money. Look after yourself. Look after your family, Josh. Don't buddy get returns. Cross the mighty.
Paying $80 for an old Donkey Kong game in this economy? No way. It's not going to happen. So
in this economy? Yeah, everyone's talking about just like, look, we've got no income, can't barely afford to feed our families. Then Nintendo comes out early next year being like, look, we sold 5 million copies of Donkey Kong Country Returns HD.
Yeah.
So all right.
People have never played this before and will play it and have never known it was $30
Be a brand new game to them.
Nintendo
exactly.
Selects. Yeah, correct. That's right.
Well, it would have been like 14 years since it came out, which is bloody weird to think about. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Stop. Don't start. Don't start.
Next up, early next year, we got the 100 Lion Last Defense Academy. This is by the Danganronpa series creator. So I remember always wanting to play Danganronpa. I was a big PlayStation Vita fan, and that was like one of the staple games on that platform. Never got around to it, but this game looked interesting. Looked like a similar concept. You're in a school, stuff's going on. You got to investigate it. Looks like you got 100 days to figure out what's going on or stay alive. So the stakes are always high in these games. So this will be a game I'll listen to fans of like Danganronpa and these types of games, and if they enjoy it, I'll be like, thank God, that's awesome. That's great. I would play it, but I don't want to invest in it both financially and time wise. But
same.
It looks okay. It looks like it would be fun. If I had to, I'd play it. If Josh put a gun to my head and say, looks like anime. Their eyes looked a bit weird. The eyes took like half their head. Then like they're on the bridge with the boy and the girl, and like these teddy bear mutant things came out, and I laughed when that thing came out. I'm like, what the hell is this? That's the enemy. Don't know about that.
I can't even remember now. At this stage.
Next up, we've got a big one, Josh. Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Yes,
so
actual.
This one's actually. So you said Michaela's excited for this one.
She has got Apple Arcade, and she's got a 1 month free trial, and she's already started playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure on her iPad. It's begun. She is not waiting to next year. She's just decided to play it now. And she might pay a month or two subscription for Apple Arcade while she plays it. So this looked fun. I think it was one of the other ones that Poro leaked with some emojis was coming. Been finding out all about this game lately, something I never knew existed until the Direct. It looks very cute and cozy, one of those games, but like you get to do all the crafting. It's like Animal Crossing, effectively. You're on this island. And then I find out today that apparently there's a whole South Park thing with Butters, and he mentioned Hello Kitty Island Adventure in a 2006 episode of South Park because all his friends are playing World of Warcraft, and he's just like, no, I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure instead, and just like so proud of it, and he doesn't want to join them playing WoW. But then they make this game like recently, so like, did they deliberately name this game the exact title, or was it a complete accident? I tried to read some articles, and it wasn't definitively telling me one way or the other. So extremely weird. I don't know what's going on, but it's still very funny nonetheless. Michaela's having a good time anyway.
That is really funny. That episode of South Park was just like an all-timer. It was so funny, and in the context of that, it would be funny if like on both sides, especially if the developers like didn't know, like, oh, yeah, no, this was a South Park gag from years ago. So, for me, it didn't really pique my interest. I'm not a Hello Kitty fan, but I know like a lot of people in the cozy game community, they've been talking about wanting this port for a long time, wanting this moved over to Switch. And it's the type of game that is right at home. Animal Crossing fans are looking for a game that has content coming to it. I'm not sure if this gets updates or anything like that, but if it does, it's got a sort of an opening in the market to get in there, and it might be actually quite big on Switch.
I think it'll be big. I think it will do all right. Yeah. It's big brand recognition with Hello Kitty. So
that's right.
People want this on Switch.
Hello Kitty's always been one of those things where I've never looked at it, been like, yeah, I'm interested in that, but it certainly has its brand appeal. So hope everybody enjoys it. I'll be probably checking out some streams of people playing it, enjoying themselves. Maybe I'll get sucked into it. I don't know.
You're watching Michaela play it.
You can just watch Michaela play it. Be like, what's that little kitty doing there, Michaela? She's like, well, I'm baking a cake, Josh. That's wonderful.
It's just saying hello.
Isn't gaming fantastic? All these worlds you can be in.
It really is. It is, yeah.
Places you can go, experiences you can take on.
References to South Park you can create games on, all of that. It's amazing. It's wonderful. Yeah, it's so good.
Last up, before we get to your big one, Josh, we got Mio, Memories in Orbit. And this one piqued my interest. Really nice art style. I assumed it was a Metroidvania. It is. what was happening. So I'll read the
Yep.
description just so I understand exactly what it is. But plays Mio, a nimble android with extraordinary abilities, who awakens in the vessel, a gigantic derelict spaceship teeming with lush vegetation and machines gone rogue. Explore a captivating universe full of wonders and artistic curiosities, and learn abilities to help Mio progress through this twisted, interconnected space. Yeah, that sounds like bloody Metroidvania, right? Face off against a diverse array of more than 30 enemy units and 15 formidable guardian bosses, while spicing up your fighting skills with modifiers that transform Mio into a formidable force tailored to your playstyle. And just no release date, but next year. So the art style got my attention, but don't know, unless reviews come out and like this is a must play and the timeline and that works out, probably won't play this, but it looks cool. I think if you're into Metroidvanias, surely it's got your attention, but you're the man to ask for this, Josh, Mr. Metroidvania. Has this piqued your interest at all?
It did. I saw this exact same thing. Wondered if it was a Metroidvania, and it is. It looks really good. So I'm going to keep an eye on this. Like Mio, it's I'm not going to forget the name because that's one of the characters in Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So won't forget that. Look cool. So I'm gonna when it comes out sometime next year, I'll keep an eye on it, and if it rates well, then I might pick it up. So kind of like Animal World, you kind of watched it and like, okay, then it's like, oh, it's really good. I gotta play it, that kind of thing. So looks good. It was a nice, cool announcement.
Yeah, I'd like to see like more of this stuff rather than Funko Fusion and a bunch of these other games. Like I want to see like, Nintendo originally was the ones to be like, hey, look at this Hollow Knight thing. Doesn't it look cool? Like, yeah, it does. Like I want sort of Nintendo to be more of the trendsetter in some ways. I know they do that with their indie presentations and stuff too, which is obviously like a lot of these types of games, and stuff like that. But if you deleted a lot of the licensed stuff in this direct, you would have deleted a lot of stuff. There was a lot of licensed stuff in these in this direct today. So definitely get what you mean. Can't wait for Looney Tunes Wacky World of Sports.
Oh, you should ask for a code, man. Ask for a code and just sort of play it and be humbled when you think it's actually not too bad.
No, thanks. It's not even worth the time putting in the code.
No,
it's not even worth putting in the code into the eShop to download the fucking thing. I might be wrong. Might be fun.
You, Drew. That's right. That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
In a couple of years' time, be Lucas's favorite game. So, Dad, can we turn on the Switch, play Looney Tunes: The Wacky World of Sports, Daddy? I love Looney Tunes: The Wacky World of Sports, Dad.
Yeah, that's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
That's all,
What's up, Doc?
What's up, Doc?
Anyway. All right, let's talk about the big one.
Let's talk about it. Go on.
Josh has been like, all right, shut the fuck up about this Donkey Kong and Fantasian and all of this. He wants to talk about Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. So this is a game that both Josh and I were like, we're going to see it at this direct, surely. Like, it's been 7 years since the initial announcement. It's been almost just as long as like, hey, look, boys, we fucked up. We're moving developers to Retro Studios. And now we finally saw the game. And it's got a release window of next year, 2025. And Josh, I just want to jump straight into what your thoughts as the trailer's unvolving, what you think of the game from what we've seen, what sort of continuation of the story you can potentially see in seeing Silax from the end of the third game. I want to indulge in your excitement here, man.
Thank you. Here we fucking go. Like this was amazing. This was amazing. I just had a good feeling going to this direct. We're going to get some Metroid Prime 4. And I don't know, I just sat on that feeling. We had the NSO drops with Link to the Past, Four Swords Adventure, and then Metroid Zero Mission. And I went to Mickey then. I think we got the Zelda new game. And I just felt, okay, we're going to get a Metroid game here. It's going to be something here. And so just great to build up. Seeing the text of 22X79. I'm thinking, okay, something futuristic. This is probably Metroid or Star Fox was my other thought for a brief second. But then
I wish it was. That would have been my prediction.
That would have been yours. So I was kind of in like, but then Galactic Federation pops up. Like, okay, here we go. This is actually it. We are going to see Metroid Prime 4, and then, gameplay footage. We get a trailer, cinematic, opening cinematic. First thing that I sort of really picked up on was how beautiful it looks, and I've checked later on, and looks like it is running at 60 frames per second. They are absolutely maximizing, getting every ounce of power out of this console, Retro Studios, when it comes to this title. They just know how to do it. They know the hardware so well and how to actually make beautiful looking games. We saw that with Metroid Prime Remastered. We're going to see this here with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And it's got me really excited, and the potential for a cross-platform 4K looking game. If this is a cross-gen release as well, that's going to look even better as well. So keen to see that. It was kind of disbelief watching it. I talked about this for ages on my show, and been there since the remembering the announcement at E3 in 2017, and then I was in the States. So I really vividly remember I was overseas watching the announcement that I was in Monument Valley, of all places, where Forrest Gump runs. I was watching this, I was watching it just on holiday, watching that they announced the delay and the restarting it of Metroid Prime 4. And I don't know, we've just been on this really big, long journey of just it's coming. We know it's being made. We've had financial reports where they mention it's to be announced. And it just sort of got into the sweet spot the last year, thinking, okay, I think we've had enough time now. I follow other YouTubers who've done sleuthing, and earlier this year, there was an Australian company in Melbourne that got contracted to do the cinematics for this, I believe. They had Retro Studios as one of their partners on the bottom of their website, and obviously you can connect the dots. There's probably for Metroid Prime 4 here. So they've been working to this, and so everyone was hypothesizing that this game's ready to roll. They're ready to show something at least. And what we saw a really great, what looks like to be the opening of this game. You're seeing some familiar music. You're seeing, this is Metroid Prime. The actual gameplay just, I suppose, improved upon. It's not like a massive change in terms of gameplay from what I can see. It looks like a continuation of what the first 3 games played like in terms of moving around, the scanning, just how the level looked, so to speak. It just obviously looks a lot better, and I'm sure we'll see more new things that will make it sort of really stand outish. But I just, loved everything about that trailer. The music, they got a bit of an electric guitar there at the end there when Shylox appears. I thought it was the perfect way to sort of announce this game is real. Actually look at some footage, get a name. We've got Beyond now. Really interested to know what that means. We knew what Echoes and Corruption all meant eventually, so we'll know what Beyond means. I'm really keen to know that. And then obviously Shylox. You see Shylox at the end of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, Federation Force as well. And just great to see that, they're continuing on that little snippet of an Easter egg that Shylox was going to be in the next game that never came. And here we are now, all these years later, finding out, we're going to find out more about Shylox. Someone we don't really know a lot about. I think he's a bit of a joke of a boss sometimes in some other games, but I'm really keen to sort of get this fleshed out. He looked a bit menacing in the trailer there at the end. So honestly, can't wait. It was a great reveal, a great build up as well. I think just because it had been so long to finally get it, it was a bit of disbelief seeing it, watching it, experiencing it. So slightly disappointed if it's coming to Switch that we're not going to get it this year. I think they got the idea that they wanted to show it off now, but we're going to have to wait a bit. But that makes me even more convinced that it's going to be cross-platform, and we'll get it on the Switch successor as well.
Yeah, my sort of prediction like for the last 6 years was that when we see Prime 4, it will show up and it will be dated and released relatively soon because Nintendo
Yeah.
they seem to be pretty, maybe embarrassed is the wrong word, but like, pretty
Yeah.
well aware that it's like, look, we fucked up. Next time you see it, you will get good information and you will get a release date. So I was a little bit surprised that it wasn't, say,
Yeah.
end of this year. But it is what it is. If they need the time, it's all good. I'm not too offended that didn't get the date or anything like that. But
We're getting it now.
it did sort of surprise me. But the gameplay looked great. It looked fantastic, and not really surprised. The remaster of Prime looks fantastic on Switch today. So just the tech that they use, like you said, they really did sort of get everything out of the Switch, and it looks great. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks strange to look at because it looks very familiar to what we've played on Switch and then the other games as well. But it's also like that little bit of like modernism that sort of shines across it as well. Just in like the animations, just in like a little bit more that's going on, like the sort of the shooting the ships in the air and you see one flying off and all of that. It's like a little bit more going on than what you would have seen in, say, like the original game and even the remaster. So it's interesting from that point of view. A lot of people like are pointing out, it looks like Halo, and it's funny that
I've seen a comparison to a trailer, and it's like for like, effectively, this kind of things that happen.
But you know what the weird thing is? Say 343, that's a studio over at Microsoft that got formed to take on the Halo IP once Bungie, they left and then Halo stayed with Microsoft. So 343, they took on the Halo IP, and a lot of the designers and artists and everything left Retro Studios and migrated over to 343. So Halo 4 and 5 look like, at the time, people were saying that they looked like Metroid Prime. Like they did. Like they had like a brand new enemy race that looked like they ripped straight out of Metroid.
Oh, and, really? Okay.
Yeah, like people. I remember, but people were saying like this is long before I played Metroid Prime, but I was aware of it and I knew what it looked like, and yeah, that was the comparison back then. But now all the way here, that we've had like a few Halo games and Metroid Prime, sort of, it's a distant memory at this point since the last one on Wii. People announce reverse. That it looks like Halo. So it's interesting how times change things, but it is because like the artists and a lot of them, they moved over. They left Retro Studios. So these big franchises from Xbox and Nintendo, sort of bit of collaboration there in some ways, sort of rubbed shoulders with some of the key people that helped make them both happen.
Cross-pollination. I suppose it just happens, doesn't it? People moving around, and okay, I'll have to look into what makes them tick a bit more, those games, Halo 4 and 5. So I was surprised with you. I would have thought this was going to come this year if it got announced, but I suppose they're past that point now where they know it's coming, they're confident in the product. It must be very close to being completed. And we'll get more info soon. I can't wait to see more and experience it all. And Drew, the music at the end, like I got all like really emotional hearing this. Just like as we looked across, like just like Fendrana Drifts, it reminded me of when I see that for the first time. Or Talon 4 when you land. It was just the music and the setting, the big world tree or whatever it was. I just like, this is so cool. Like it's just, they're gonna nail it. It's gonna be another classic in the series. They're not gonna fuck it up. You know what I mean?
I don't think they will either. Fingers crossed. Yeah. I'm just really interested to see how Retro Studios have able to reform their team many years after the last game in the series and just pick it up from where it was. So very, very interested from that point of view. But this is the last game we know about in the lineup of Switch releases. And everybody's pointing towards the next system next year. When it will be out, what it will be with, I don't know. But everybody assumes that this will be like a cross-generation I guess, game. And for me personally, I'd love to see this get benefits from next generation hardware. Like, it looks great on Switch, but you can imagine that just ramp up in resolution and just the shine across everything would really bring this game to life. So fingers crossed for that. But where do you see that sort of? What's your guess essentially for, like? Do you reckon it will get it'll be a cross generation game? Do you reckon it'll get an update later on if it doesn't? If it comes out before then, how do you see this sort of fitting in with next generation? Because I'm not quite sure of what Nintendo's strategy will be. Because if it was like Xbox, for example, like when the Series X came out, Gears of War, was it Forza, like all of their games got patches, so they looked fantastic on new hardware. It utilized it. PlayStation doesn't so much do it. They do like, what do they do? They have like the paid updates and different director's cut versions and stuff like that. So I can see Nintendo just being like doing what they did with Wii U. I know it's different to Wii U, no backwards compatibility, but I can see they made a lot of money off selling old games. So I don't know. I don't believe they'll do like they'll just give us a nice little update and allow us to up the frames and all of that. So I don't know. I'm a little bit standoffish. I want to see what their thing is.
I think this comes cross-platform the same day. So it comes out the same day. Yep. So it'll be a Twilight Princess scenario. It'll be a a Breath of the Wild situation. Like, it was promised for this old console for so long that Nintendo feels obligated to fulfill that promise, but also it's so close to the new console that we want to showcase it on this new one. And especially, I think, for this Switch successor, showing how cool these games can look. I think it's a great opportunity for Retro to really showcase that. Mm-hmm. And if we have this at the start of the Switch successor, this could really like build up in some great sales and be a really, really huge game for Metroid. So I'm really hoping it's cross-gen now and we see it all on the same day. If you got OG Switch and you want to play it on that and you don't want to buy a new Switch 2 just yet, you have that choice. But yeah, you won't get a free patch to upscale it or anything like that. You'll just have to choose the game for the console that you want. So that's my guess. I'm still thinking we're going to get March next year as this new console. So that's I'm thinking, why would they break what was good? And I'm thinking a March release next year for the Switch successor and probably Metroid Prime 4 Beyond now as well.
So you reckon, Metroid Prime 4 will be a launch title? It won't come to both later on? Yeah,
it's a launch title. It'll come on Switch as well. Normal release.
Do you think Metroid is big enough for that? Because it's typically a series that Nintendo fans love. It's got a lot of memories. Came out the same year as Legend of Zelda, for example, on NES, but it never caught on the same as a lot of those have. But Zelda had its moment. Zelda had its moment with Breath of the Wild, and who knows how they market this and get it out. It could have its Metroid Prime 4 moment.
I really think we're getting a Mario Kart day one, and I think you need something else that's a bit of a different experience, and I think Metroid provides that, and a bit more mature. People, if they buy their Switch 2 day one and they want to play Mario Kart, what else is out there as well? The Metroid. I'll try that out, that kind of thing. I really think that works well for it. But then you also save yourself that you can release it on the Switch 1 and it's got 155 million plus people with their own console at that stage. So you got the install base still to sort of cover yourself either way. So I think it's a win-win if they did it that way.
155. They would have beaten PS2 by March, you reckon? Calling it.
I'm hearing reports today they're not far off. So it's going to happen. It's not if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah. There's other things too. They can do like multiplayer, like do a robust multiplayer and get like a bit of attention that way, sort of get that crowd into. Like, I really enjoyed the multiplayer in Hunters on DS, and that was pretty robust for the DS version. So I'm actually kind of hungry for that too.
Yeah, definitely could be something they venture into a bit more. Wait to be seen. I don't think I've seen anything online to suggest that might be, that's with the type of hires they've had, but who's to say? They've tried it once before in the Prime series to get more multiplayer things going on with Echoes.
Yeah.
Didn't quite work that way. This is in the peak of Halo, and they're trying to jump onto that bandwagon. Didn't quite work for them then. I don't know whether it is the right one for them to do it now. I think Metroid's more of a single player experience. You got your Splatoons and other online ones to maybe that do that experience better anyway. But it definitely could be something they consider. I think the single player experience on its own stacks up well enough, though.
We shall see. Very exciting stuff. We finally got to see it. It's been the game for the whole generation where it's like, we'll see it one day. There's been no other game we've known about as long and anticipated as much, which is exciting. But we've finally got an end in sight. But anything else you want to talk about Prime before we jump into the question from Zach?
Just the fact it's real. We actually see stuff now. We have a name. We know what it looks like. Just really still can't quite believe that we're at this stage now, because it's been years of not knowing, and now we're on the other side of knowing. It's so cool, and it's the next 9 months or whatever it will be very fast, and will come quickly. I'm getting married before then anyway, so a lot of cool things going on at the moment. So I might be in Japan as well on my honeymoon when this game comes out, when the console launches as well. So be an interesting time.
Just lock yourself in to the motel room, play some Prime.
Yeah, because that's the best thing you do on your honeymoon. Yeah, correct.
I guess, another question I actually got for you just before we move on. What do you think of the subtitle, Beyond?
I like it. Yeah. Had to be one word, like Echoes and then Corruption. I don't know what it means. I think
Beyond the Stars.
No idea.
Universe.
Yeah. I think the logo, the ball thing that's behind the Metroid Prime word, I think that's mirrored after a black hole or something like an imploding black hole or something like that. That was a theory I saw today. Someone got a side by side. So, it could be beyond what's in that potentially. I don't know. Something like that. So, it's because the phase on time, the story is probably quite done. And so what they do next is beyond as well, in a way. I don't know. So there's a lot of angles they could go with this right now. So, it could bring another trilogy of games.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see where it leads. But we got a great question from Egmont in our Discord. And I thought it's just a sort of a great sort of talking point as we've sort of wrapped up all of the games that will be coming out from this Nintendo Direct. But he says, now that you know the rest of Nintendo's 2024 and some of Nintendo's 2025 lineup, do you actually think Switch successor was intended to launch this year? To me, the lineup feels too strong to just be cobbled together, padding to buy them an extra few months. And I am starting to think all the insiders who said this was coming this year and spun the narrative that it was internally delayed to cover their asses. And there's a lot of sort of points there that could be true and could be wrong at the same time. But as far as the leakers go, certainly they could just be making stuff up to cover their asses, because they've been saying the conversation just changed from pro model to next system, just after a certain amount of time, and they're wrong about both.
Yep. Yes.
So it very well could have been. But I think for me, this is an incredibly strong lineup, and anybody that has a Switch, unless you've bought and played every game, there's still so much to play, even if even if you've played everything, then you've got Zelda, Mario and Luigi, maybe Mario Party, these third-party games, Pokemon early next year, Metroid. There's still plenty to come out. But I guess I'll throw it to you before I say what I think. But what do you think about this potentially, I guess, the next system never have been slated for this year, and that Nintendo, never planned on it?
Yeah, I find it interesting because, you could argue that these this direct has sort of confirmed that this year's going to be pretty good, really. In the end, like obviously not as amazing as last year, but yeah, we just don't know, do we? Like Nintendo might have considered it strongly. Like it makes sense to have it just before holiday and have that big momentum. But there's always been, especially during the COVID age, supply issues, and so that's why they might have considered to go like March, like I think they'll do next year. We really don't know. I think the thing for me out of all of this is that just because the Switch successor might have been coming out this year doesn't mean that they still didn't want to completely pull the rug from the original Switch and have nothing. I still think they were. I think they were really working for a transition period of like up to a year or maybe two. I don't know, of like here's Switch games still with the install base. Let's get the sales numbers, the software sales through still, while at the same time build up the install base of the Switch successor. And at the time it sort of does that crossover, and you feel more comfortable to let the foot off the gas, just like every console generation in a way. There's a bit of hesitation sometimes, especially 3DS after the Switch launch. They were so hesitant to go fully in with the Switch, and had its 3DS games come out until like 2019, didn't they? So like nearly 2 years after the Switch launch. So I think they've always been planning a transition period, whether it is shorter now because of the delay of the Switch successor. I think that's my guess with what's happened.
Yeah, and that's 100% mine as well. Like, say the Switch 2 came out March, it doesn't mean that they can't have, like, look at these games, for example, like what we just talked about. You got Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. There's no reason that wouldn't come out still. There's no reason that a new Mario Party wouldn't come out on Switch. Mario and Luigi, that's a classic game that was coming out on 3DS as Switch was already out. We got a few of those in the lifetime of the 3DS and Switch overlapping. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD. That's another good example. And Metroid Prime 4, which is a big one that's left over, but that could also be a cross-gen title as well. So
yeah,
these very much do feel like transition games, as exciting as they are. Even Echoes of Wisdom, very exciting, but that's still like still a smaller game that is meant to. I guess it's not like Tears of the Kingdom or everything like that. It's nowhere near on that scale, but it's an exciting game with its own charm and everything. But it's definitely not like one of the major sort of Nintendo releases. So yeah, no, I think I think that potentially that we don't know really. There's no, it could have been or it could not have been, but there's no real gaps, really, is there? There's no gap where you can say like, oh, look, this was the launch month and stuff had to move. They had plenty to sort of fill in the holes if it was like a delay, but it sort of feels like it wasn't. I think it feels like they probably did have plenty of stuff to not need the next Switch, because it seems like they're putting it off as far as possible. Maybe they're a little bit nervous about it and they just want to ride on the coattails of like the massive install base, because why wouldn't you?
They're just contingency planning, and they've done really well to sort of make sure they've got a backlog of games to have ready and build up over time. The fact that they've had their 3DS divisions and their Wii U division merge into one to provide the Switch games has been amazing, and really helped the smoothness of everything that we're seeing right now, I feel. So they're really like getting that reward for effort right now. And you're seeing in the industry where there's big large gaps between major releases for Sony and Microsoft, and Nintendo just doesn't do that because they're so well prepared and ready. And we've talked about them being a generation behind in graphics, and that's not a thing. So that doesn't impact development. But just this really great planning and thinking into the future is paying off for them now.
Yeah, no, you can see just from like even us talking through it today and what we've already had this year and especially last year, like because of their platform being easier to develop for, don't need like super impressive graphics and just tech that takes a long time to make these games. They're able to make games and store them and then release them when necessary. Like, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, that remake has been done for a long time. Same with
over a year.
Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe, and like a lot of these games that are either, I guess, remasters especially, or just these smaller titles, they're able to sort of hold them and fill in months that are flat. And even if you're not interested in it, it does give you like perspective of like, oh, there's always something coming. Like there's no
correct.
Like you can like Nintendo, say what you want about the prices of like some of the remakes and stuff like we've discussed, but they're probably the most reliable publisher in the whole industry. Like you'll get something from them. If you're looking in like January and you see like another code, you're like, don't want that. Well, fair enough, but you know that they're at least there and that they're offering you something. Yeah, exactly. No,
it's a peace of mind that
Yeah, they're in a very interesting sort of position, a very a luxury that no other publisher really has because of their brand name, their sort of the platform they have, their place in the industry. I'm sure PlayStation wish they could just put out like a game like Kirby and just sell like 10 million copies or 5 million copies. I'm sure a lot of these other platform holders were like, fuck, I wish we could do that. But
correct. The envy of everyone in the industry.
They just have that luxury. So hopefully they keep at it with the next generation and they're able to transition to a more powerful bit of kit and keep that consistency up as well.
Yep.
I'm sure they will. All right, Josh, let's grade our predictions before we leave. Over on your show, Nintenvania, a couple of weeks ago, we did our predictions for this Nintendo Direct. And I actually don't know who won. Not sure. I feel like I might have had a few more points. I'm not quite sure, but let's go through some of our predictions here. So would you like to read them since you were in charge of it, or would you like me to read them?
Yeah, I can have a read through. So we had our predictions video on a couple of episodes ago on Nintenvania. So we had 9 possible points that we could have gotten from guessing certain things. The first category was the date that the Direct will air. And so, Drew, you got this bang on. So you get a full point for this. You guessed the 19th of June in Australia, and then which would have meant the 18th of June in the States. And it was bang on. It was it literally started at midnight in Australia on the 19th of June in the Eastern States, even though it started on the 18th, technically, for us in South Australia. But I was a week too early on the 12th/13th of June. I get a big fat 0 for that. So you're already winning, man. Done very well.
Ahead.
You're ahead.
Yeah. My idea for that was just like, I think they want to get away from Summer Game Fest. They seem very uncooperative with Jeff Keighley. So
yes,
that worked.
Yeah, and they did it. Yep. The next one was the opening announcement. So we had to have a guess at what we thought the opening one was to kick things off. I don't think in any of our wildest dreams would have guessed a new Mario and Luigi game, but my guess of the Fire Emblem remake was wrong. And then yours was Metroid Prime 4. So 0 points for both of us there. I don't mind this one, though, because I don't know many people would have guessed a Mario and Luigi, especially with the RPGs coming recently of late. So that's all right. You're still winning 1-0 to Drew. The next one was any 3 Nintendo game announcements. So just things that would be seen throughout the Direct.
We had very low expectations here, didn't we? Especially you.
We did. So I had a Metroid Prime and 2-3 bundle. That did not happen. I'm still slightly surprised by that, but we didn't get that. You had a Wii Party / Switch Party sort of mini game come together kind of thing, which I thought made a lot of sense. We did not get that. Are you a little
Mario
sad
Party
that didn't
instead?
happen? You got Mario Party instead. So I had Mario Party as one of my things to guess here, and I just removed it because I thought it was boring, which I should have left it in for the sake of winning, but it wasn't interesting because I wanted a new Nintendogs and Cats game instead. Did not get that, obviously. And then you had a Kid Icarus Uprising port, which I feel you always have to do, and got to do your work to summon these games.
Wishful thinking when it comes to wanting Kid Icarus Uprising, yes.
Yes, but that's all right. My next one, I'm going to give myself half a point for this one at least because I said a Donkey Kong 2D new game.
So we need to discuss this one. I just want to ask. I'm more than open for like half a point for this. But you say like a new 2D Donkey Kong game. It's obvious what you mean. You mean like a new 2D Donkey Kong game. So a successor to Tropical Freeze. But obviously, like you're twisting it a little bit. And I just want to know, like, deep in your heart, when you made this prediction, were you just like, oh look, I truly think there's going to be a new one, or were you thinking like, oh look, I think it will just Donkey Kong will have a presence here in a 2D nature? What were you truly thinking? And be honest.
I said new, so I was thinking a new one for sure. So, but I didn't want to go vague and say I think we'll see a 2D Donkey Kong there and sort of hedge my bets. Knowing what's coming up, I think you're safe to give me half a point, if that helps.
Yeah. No. I just wanted to put that question out there. Just
yes.
Make a big conversation about it as well, and just sort of figure it out. Because
no, I appreciate the
got to make you earn your half point.
The candidness of it all.
I like how you just come in here. Like, look, I'm giving myself half a point. So, whoa, calm down, fucking. Whoa.
I was thinking, do I
slinging points around?
Do I push myself to get the full point? I thought, no, even that's a bit too rich. I reckon half.
Yeah, that's a bit too rich, mate. That's
that was never going to happen.
Yeah, come on. Yep, half a point.
So yes, thank you. Your last one for any 3 Nintendo announcement was for Wind Waker. So we've got a new 2D Zelda instead. The discourse after that, no, everyone's like, Wind Waker, what? I don't even remember that game now because we're getting a brand new one later this year. The next category was a non-game announcement. So this would be like a special edition console, a new controller, amiibo. We had one opportunity to get something here, and that was the special edition Nintendo Switch Lite as part of this Zelda game. So our Metroid guesses, I had a Pro controller, and you had a special edition Metroid Prime 4 console. Big fat zeros for those. Which is a relief for me in a way because I don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on one of those. That kind of keeps me happy.
Thank you.
Now, this is where it slightly falls apart for me. So the 2 third-party game announcements, mine were Beautiful Joe Remaster and Castlevania DS. I had no idea. I was just guessing some things that I might want to see. They were both not in there. That's some more zeros for me. But Drew, you got your Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 HD remake. And you got Fantasian as well. So you get 2 points here, which
bloody nailed it, mate.
Gives you 3 in total. I'm on half a point so far. How you feeling about these?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. My wife's over there making noises. So it's put me way
well, hopefully good noises. Knowing she's 39 weeks pregnant, but yes.
Great noises. She's laughing. Dragon Quest, I really hoped it would be there. They did a post saying that it was coming to all platforms a little bit before over on X. So I'm like, oh, well, it looks like they're ready to say more. So this is a Nintendo Direct game through and through. And Fantasian as well, this was on a Steam listing with no release date or anything, but it was migrating from Apple Arcade, like a bunch of these games were that we're talking about. So I was pretty confident in those, and here we are on Switch at the Direct.
You did well.
2 points. Chi-ching, motherfucker.
Yeah, correct. You did well. Next time I might research a bit more instead of saying wild things that I hope are going to come. I might do something like that. That might help me get some points.
It would be cool if you got yours. A Viewful Joe remaster would be pretty neat.
It would be great.
A little bit random, but pretty neat. And a Castlevania DS collection. I think that's something that a lot of DS Castlevania fans would froth their little mouths over.
Yeah. I don't think that one's far away. I think that's coming up. So, I think one day in the next year or so, that does appear. So, which would be cool to see. So the last category, Drew is in an insurmountable lead of 3 points, but I get a point here because I guessed Metroid Prime 4. as the one last thing announcement. Thank you. And then Drew had a new Star Fox game, which
what a fuckhead! What
entertained me a lot. I had a good laugh when you did that. So that was good.
So I just want to talk about like my sort of thoughts overall for people that might have missed our predictions. But I was very heavily betting on Metroid Prime 4 being the first announcement, purely so then it can lead into other things, because I thought that it would have been releasing later this year. So if they opened with Prime 4, that would have given them time and the space to be like, hey, look, remasters for Echoes and Corruption. Also, Pro controllers, or like I said, the special edition console that can also come out. Like I thought they were going to like push it pretty hard this year. But as soon as it wasn't the first game announced, it's like all of that sort of can't happen. And then turns out the game's coming next year. So the marketing push for all of that other stuff really isn't ready yet. So that's where my sort of thought process went through.
Yeah. Oh, and makes sense in a way, doesn't it? Until Nintendo tell us
in a way
their own way and their own reasoning, I suppose. But Drew is the winner of our little predictions there. You got 3 points out of total of 9, and I got 1.5 points out of a total of 9. So you doubled me. Very well done. I think we did okay in terms of, predictions and getting things right, because you got the dates, I got the closing, you got a couple of third-party guesses, and I half guessed a Donkey Kong 2D game. So I think we did okay.
If you say so. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of prediction videos for people on YouTube, and they're horrible and they're all over the place in terms of accuracy. I think we did okay. Not great, but not bad.
Yeah, it went pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have liked to be a little bit more accurate. I would have liked to get my point for my Kid Icarus. That would have made me quite happy.
Yeah, you would have been absolutely beside yourself if you got that.
People were saying that like Tomodachi Life might be like coming over from the 3DS to the Switch. And I was like, if that comes from 3DS, I will murder somebody. I will kill somebody if that comes over before Kid Icarus. Like, you got to be kidding me. This game based on Mii's, where like Mii's is barely a thing on Switch. But Miitopia came over. So
yeah, that's right. I was about to say that. I feel it's more likely it would still over Kid Icarus Uprising, but you can't lose the hope, Drew. Like for me, I've had the hope in Metroid Prime 4, and now that's been realized. You got to keep up the fight for the Kid Icarus Uprising. I feel just gotta. It'll happen. Yeah, that's it.
Sure, it will.
It will. I as well as part of this that predictions video. I want to thank you for coming on for that, Drew. That was really good. I had a really good fun time with you. I want to keep doing something like that going forward.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I had a giveaway as well. And so for everyone listening here right now, when you do this on your podcast services or watch on YouTube, I want to thank everyone who participated. With some really good entries, had some good engagement on the video, which is nice. And I've got lots of extra subscribers from what I had before. So that's really good to see.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Gained about 50 or so, which is nice. I wasn't expecting that. But I have some money to give away. I've got a $50 eShop gift card. I've got everyone's entry. Some people got double entries because they retweeted my tweet on X, and obviously you had to comment on the video itself on YouTube. So as long as you commented, I didn't mark how well you did. You could have said June 36th, like Buck said when he commented. That was pretty funny. But yep, I've got all the lines here. I've got a random number generator. So I'm going to generate it right now. So it is number 24. Oh, Bucklepuff himself. I just mentioned him. He has won a $50
Are you kidding me?
Nintendo eShop gift card. So I called him out because he mentioned the 36th of June as his guest for the Nintendo Direct. There you go. He has actually won. I can't believe that. It's quite funny, actually. So congratulations. $50 of Nintendo eShop goodness is coming away. Enjoy.
Awesome. Congratulations. Yeah. No, yeah, it seems like you set that up. You're like, oh, yeah, no, it's very funny. Oh, look, you won.
I'm thinking at the back of my head that people are going to think this is fake. No, it is actually genuinely real. That is somewhat poetic in a way, I feel. So there you go. Buck, well done, mate. That's awesome.
Well done, Buck. Congratulations, mate. enjoy that $50. Spend it on some Nintendo Switch games. Put it towards your $1,000 bill that you've got to buy these goddamn games.
Yes, correct.
Good time. No, it's been a lot of fun, Josh, talking about the Nintendo Direct. And good lineup coming up. And I'm looking forward to covering these games and talking about them once they come out and we get to play them, get our thumbs on the sticks and experience them, which would be fantastic. But till then, we just got to wait. Got to play what we've already got. God, Christ.
Got to buy the games we've already played. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. I just realized I mixed that up. Buy the games we already played. I meant play the games we already bought. That's what I meant to say.
I got you, man.
It's getting late. It's 11 o'clock here. I'm getting my bloody birds mixed up with my words. Whoopsie poopsies. Whoopsie doopsies. But seems like it's good time to leave it there, Josh. Anything else you'd like to say before we lock up the doors?
Yeah, my latest episode of Nintendo is out now. I've done pretty well the same thing that we've done today, summarizing the Direct. I mentioned a couple of different things, I suppose. If you're interested on that, if you're like enjoying the post-Direct buzz like I have been and listening to a lot of different shows to get their reactions to things, feel free to check that out as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good fun. I listened to it today. Enjoyed Josh's solo episode. Does a very good job over there at Nintendovania.
Been a bit better at them. Taking inspiration from you when you did them last year.
It's all practice.
Yeah.
Put the training wheels on, take them off over time. You'll be bloody talking your bloody lips off. Bloody Nintendo this, Nintendo that. Your bloody bottom lip would drop off. You have to stitch it back on. You're still talking about bloody echoes of wisdom and bloody Paper Mario and it's all just flow out.
It was very easy today, knowing the content and wanting to talk about it a lot. So post-directs, very easy to do it.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a good time to be a Nintendo content creator. It's been a dry 6 months, but it's easy when there's something to talk about and there's games to cover and all that. There's always games to cover though, so it's not absolutely. But I just want to thank everybody who got this far in the podcast. 2.5 hours in. Thank you very much for choosing to spend your time with us. There's a lot of content creators, Nintendo podcasts, all of that. You can spend your time to listen to their analysis, their reactions, all of that. But the fact that you spent your time listening to this podcast, whether it's here on youtube.com/iDruby, podcast services like Apple Podcasts, all of that, really appreciate it. I love doing this stuff. And, since Josh has started doing the show with me, it's really rekindled my love of podcasting and talking about games. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for choosing to join us for this very exciting Nintendo Direct. But Josh, you know what the time is. Get the keys, turn off the lights, because the doors to the House of Mario, they're closed. We'll catch you later.
Bye, everyone.